So welcome to week 3. It's going by fast, right? Well, you know it'll be Friday. Week 3. So with that said and done, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys were good after school on Friday. And stay out of trouble, right? So like clockwork, we're going to start with the newsletter, see what is going on, or should we say the cliche word, what is growing on. Let's see what's happening in the wonderful, wonderful world of no, dude, you can't be here. What? My dog thinks he's a lap dog. He's gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. All right, let's take a look, see what's going on. Okay. Remember hybrids, be on uniform. Check your one, let's check in uniform 2 before you come into class. Mask mandatory, you guys know that. Follow uniform policies as well. I do believe in this move, I found my extra aprons, but I'm not going to count on them having them with me. Sometimes I have a different car when I go to work. So if I do have them and you forget, I do have an extra one, but not every day. Okay. Also to be on time to class because doors are locked. So if you're running, let's say 10 to 15 minutes late, might as well stay home because we start fast and furious. Okay. 10 to 15 minutes late, it's cutoff time. If you're not in campus at that time, then you're out. Okay, might as well just drive back home and just log in, take notes. Okay. What else? Uniform policy. You guys know of uniform policy. Must be in complete uniform, school issue jacket, pants, aprons, hat, black on-campus shoot when you're on campus. And again, online, chef's coats. Chef's coats, chef's coats. Got it? Every single day. Okay. What else? No piercings on campus, no watches, rings in kitchens, no false eyelashes, no false fingernails, long nails, and color nails, hair inside your hat or tied bun, no ponytails. Okay, if you have a long hair, contact Mary Reardon, and she and you can purchase one of those big old mushroom floppy hats to keep all the hair inside. I don't have them because I shave. Beards must be longer than 1/4 inch long. I trim mine. I don't like the big old bird's nest hanging on my chin. So I trim mine. Besides, it's nasty when those hair falls into the food, looks like nasty. So no, I keep mine short and trim. Okay. Remember to check your emails coming from Chef Robin. She's back on campus after her vacation, or Shelly or Mary Reardon. Answer back. ServSafe. Okay. Here we go. ServSafe makeup on Saturday, May 8th. Okay. Sign up and pay. On or before 8 a.m. on April 26th. Chef Raph. He takes the prisoners. If you want to take you contact him, you want to take your ServSafe, you must be on point. He is taking the bull, no bull crap. Okay. He's on point. You must email Chef Raph to get on the list. If you have never taken the exam, a $25 deposit must be made to Chef Raph, Stephen Rafferty, by April 26th. This is refundable only if you show up for the exam. Okay. If you're doing a retake, then or before April 26th, pay $45 to Mary Reardon, that's her number, to purchase a Scantron or a bubble sheet. Okay. What you need, number 1, if this is your first time to take the exam, you must have your Scantron bubble sheet with you. It is found in the front of the ServSafe book. Remember that, guys? You guys, if you have your ServSafe book, okay, this is your Scantron. Okay, that's what it looks like. Where you write all your answers. Okay. Arrive at school 30 minutes early, 7:30 a.m. He probably there 5 in the morning. He's an early bird. Be in uniform with your face mask. Bring pencils. Number 2 pencil. Do not bring books, backpacks, lunch, drinks, coffee, tea, donuts, none of that. Okay. Follow classroom instructions and best wishes on your exam. So there you go. Okay. If you're looking into taking your exam coming up, okay? Or he hasn't sent out yet who's passed or didn't pass. I don't know that answer yet. So we'll see when I'll get asked him that in a few minutes or tomorrow, okay? Portal issues, you should not have any portal issues. You should be all into it, okay? But if you ever do come across portal issues, that's where to call. That's where to call and who to contact with. So this touring is not available. If you especially going to have issues with math, because you guys going to go to algebra coming up with math. So you can definitely have tutoring available to you guys, okay? What else? Talk Campus, you need someone to talk to, feeling down 24/7, okay? Reach out, that's the website. You put it in your app and you talk to somebody. It's not like back in the day, it's 800 number and you know who you're calling. Yes. No, that's not it, okay? 2021 holiday calendar, there you go. This for the coming up, okay? May 14th, you should be in your next block by that time. May 31st, Memorial Day weekend. June 1st, Saturday school. Juneteenth, no class. We do have a summer break, July 28th to July 2nd, 1 week. August 13th, no school. Labor Day, September 6th, November 5th, no school in service. November 13th, Saturday school, not a holiday. November 25th, 26th, Thanksgiving, that's Thursday and Friday. And winter break, December 20th to the 31st. We get about 2 weeks off for December, okay? Special days in April, April 5th through 11, April 19th, National Garlic Day. April 20th, National Cheddar Fries Day. April 21st, National Tea Day. April 22nd, National Jelly Bean Earth Day. April 23rd, National Cherry Cheesecake Day. April 24th, National Pigs in the Blanket Day. April 25th, National Pet Parents Day. Yeah, I got my fur baby. Spoiled, right? April coming up, right? You know all about Hulu, right? Sign up. That is the information. If you have changed address or phone number, that's where to go and fill in the information and have it done. Okay. Some local resources if you need assistance with testing, utility, and so forth, so on. Okay. Inter-school departments, Teresa Vargas, Mayor Reardon. Okay. Stop the spread of germs. Miss Antonia, did you get that issue settled down? Chef Robin.
No, I didn't contact her yet. I was kind of busy today. I'm going to be writing her email tonight and then sending it off in the morning.
Okay. Good. How to protect yourself following CDC guidelines. Don't spread the germs. Getting the COVID vaccine 19 adds another layer of protection. It doesn't. You don't become invincible. Don't go flipping out the airplanes or buildings. Okay. How to use bleach as a disinfectant. Ms. Ann Derrick, lovely smile, awesome lady. She'll be your best friend when you go to an externship. Featured employer, Tillery Kitchen and Bar is hiring part-time and full-time cooks at their 3201 East Cesar Chavez in downtown Austin location. Please email your resume to Nicholas Gibson, kitchen manager. Fairmont Austin Career Fair, Tuesday, April 20th, 2021, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Multiple positions at 101 Red River Street, Austin. Okay, 7th floor, Palm Bark Ballroom. There's all the info you need to know so you can go and register and do your thing. Okay. Additional opportunities, Rochelle Patissier, new bakery looking for hire a baker, head baker, baker assistant at 1212 Chicon Street. University of Texas is always hiring too. Bobo Snack Bar. It's a bar and snacks from local chefs located at 3850 Airport Boulevard, close to campus, I believe. Biter's Man's Deli, Far West Boulevard, is offering a $200 signing bonus. Looking to fill a line cook positions, apply to Biter's, can I pronounce it? Biter Man's Deli. Butter. Yeah. Quote of the week, every new day is a new opportunity for success. Yes. Bring those Benjamins, right? Just for fun. Decided I need to eat something healthy, so I made a delicious omelet this morning. Seasoned the eggs with sugar, oil, chocolate, and throw a little bit of flour for texture. Here's the end result. That's my kind of omelet, but I can't have that. Too sweet. Okay. Too sweet. Trivia, food for thought. From where does Arabica coffee originate? Is it 1, Ethiopia, 2, Arabia, 3, Colombia, 4, Brazil, 5, Uganda? Any takers?
Number 2.
Arabia, anyone else?
I feel like that's the one that makes the most sense. It might be a trick.
I think it's number 1, Ethiopia.
They say Cuban coffee.
So 1, Ethiopia, you got Arabia, what else? Takers. And then the coffee drinkers? No. All right. So where does Arabica coffee originate? I used to be hooked on, back in the days, there was a coffee from Starbucks, Arabica Mocha Tsunami. Oh man, it was the best. It was like $20, half a pound. When I moved to New York, I kept on buying it. And then I moved here to Texas back in 98, 99. And I found it the first year, and then I couldn't find it afterwards. They stopped making it. I'm like, the closest that they have is now Sumatra. Like, nah, but it's not the same. That coffee, oh man, oof, yeah, pinky out. Just like 2 Chainz said, right? Pinky out. Okay. Anyways, where does the coffee originate from? Let's take a look at it. You guys say Ethiopia, Arabia, right? Somebody say Cuba? The answer is Ethiopia, number 1. Arabica coffee comes from the beans of a coffee Arabica plant, which originated in Ethiopia. Arabica is the world's most popular coffee type, equating to over 60% of cups drank. And there is your newsletter of the week. Right. Okay.
Just for that, I'm gonna go make coffee right now.
Yeah, delicious. I love the smell of morning coffee. Okay. Let's dive into it, guys. This is week 3. Okay. Some recaps on some knife cuts that we did last week, right? And some product ID. Those of you guys who are might get confused as to what some of these are. Okay. So recap: we did large dice, medium dice, small dice, Brunoise, mince. We also did about 12 different kinds of cuts on the carrot. And what does mise en place means, guys? What does mise en place means? Mise en place. What does it mean?
Everything in
Celery,
place.
Everything explained.
like the vegetables, whatever you're gonna cook.
So mise en place.
Everything in place, including the tools and the equipment that you're going to be using.
Right. Once they put it, get your shit together, right? Up here with your production sheet, your homework, your research, and then your station, right? Your knife kit, sanitation bucket, cutting board, production sheet. That's what it means. And then you start getting all your mise items, okay? And always clean as you go. Those are you guys who are with me, Frank, Ariel, Michael is not here today. Who else? Quincy. Always clean as you go. That's a huge part of the practical, okay? You know, we don't really count on the dishwasher. So, you know, that's, if it's there, it's there. If not, it's not. So we clean as we go, okay? As we keep on going further, we're going to use a lot more equipment. So we're going to have to clean as we go, washing dishes. And you guys feel really great. So keep it up, okay? And keep your stations clean and uncluttered and clean and organized as much as possible. And you guys know presentation is not at 4:30, it's at 8:30. That was my early class. I had foundations at 2. So 8:30 is presentation, okay? And just sort of, just so you guys can see what a bouquet garni looks like. Bouquet garni is the top left. That is a piece of leek, parsley stems, thyme, and I think it has a garlic clove inside that is tied with a butcher's twine. It's an aromatic that is put inside the pot, okay? And then tied to the handle so you can easily take it out, okay? The sachet on the bay leaf too, top left and bottom right. That is a bouquet garni. The bottom left and the top right, that is a sachet piece. So when your recipe calls for a sachet piece, that's what it is. Piece of cheesecloth, sprigs of thyme, whole peppercorns, bay leaf, garlic cloves, and parsley stems. Okay, remember that. Okay, sachet piece is what it is. Look, a little beggar's purse, right? So just a little recap on last week. Because this week we're going to go into introduction to soups, and more soups. Speaking of soups, who's in it to make money in this business?
Yes and no.
What?
It's a yes and no. I like it. I love cooking to the point where I do it, but the money is not the ultimate goal, but it is a perk.
I can't hear Antonia. Is she talking?
Okay, it's a perk. I don't do it solely for the money because then you will get tired of it. You know, you'll get bored. You'll go into work just for the paycheck. You have to have like a passion and
Yeah.
a want to actually cook for people, you know, for yourself. You have to have a passion. So it's like more so like 50% the money. No, not 50%. About 30% the money.
But it's a passion, right? It's a passion, right?
Yeah.
Because even though you're not in it for the money, because that could be the wrong question, you're in it for the passion and also to save you money in the long run at your house, because now you're going to know how to make certain things from scratch that are healthier, more beneficial for your health and your family. And it's going to save you some cash money instead of going out to eat or buying the pre-made, right? So anyways, true story, speaking of soups, true story. Back when I moved to Texas from New York, 99, like around 2001, 2002, there was a story of this guy who was unemployed, had no car, and had very little money, but he knew how to make soups. He had awesome, tremendous skills how to make soups here in Austin. His friends loved his soup so much that they asked him if he could deliver soups to their job sites. So at that time, he had one of those bikes that had a little basket on the back with 2 wheels. I don't know what you call those. So he would make the soups at his apartment, load them up into the back of his bike, pedal his way to the job sites, and deliver the soups to his friends. His friends' co-workers loved the soup so much, they started requesting certain soups, paying him money. Back in 2002, unemployed, no car. His business grew. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of it or bought the product that he has in town, but he's now the owner of the Soup Peddler. Last time I looked, he had about 3 locations and was looking to hire an executive chef at one of his spots. Food for thought. Okay, food for thought. Keep that in mind, okay? Anyways, introduction to soups. So I think on your page, on your book, chapter 12, I believe, soups can be classified by cooking technique and appearance as either clear or thick. Clear soups includes broths made from meat, poultry, game, fish, or vegetables, as well as consommes, which are broths clarified to remove impurities. Thick soups include cream soups and puree soups. Most common cream soups are those made from vegetables cooked in liquid that is thickened with a starch and puree. Cream is then incorporated to add richness and flavor. Puree soups are generally made from starchy vegetables or legumes. After the main ingredient is simmered in a liquid, the mixture of a portion of it is puree. Some soups, notably bisque, which I love how to make, and chowders, as well as cold soups such as gazpacho or fruit soup, are neither clear nor thick soups. Rather, they are a special preparation method or combination of the methods mentioned before. A soup's quality is determined by its flavors, appearance, and texture. A good soup should be full flavor with no off or sour taste. Flavors from each of the soup's ingredients should be blended to complement with no one flavor overpowering another one. Okay, well-rounded. Okay. Garnishing, very, very important how to garnish a soup. It is important to consider consideration when preparing soups. When applied to soups, the word garnish has 2 meanings. The first one is more typically associated with the word. It refers to foods added to the soup as a decoration. For example, broccoli florette floated on a bowl of cream of broccoli soup, functional edible garnish. The second refers to foods that may serve not only as decorations, but also as critical components of the final product. For example, noodles in a bowl of chicken noodle soup, noodles are garnished. In this content, the noodles are not ingredients because they are not used to make the chicken soup. You ever think about that? Food for thought, right? Rather, they are added to chicken soup to create a different dish. These additional items are still referred to as garnishes. However, so procedure of preparing broth, first or cut the main ingredient, your chicken, your beef, brown the meat, brown or sweat the mirepoix vegetables as necessary, because we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Place the main ingredient and mirepoix vegetables in the appropriate stock pot and add enough cold water or stock to cover it. Add a bouquet garni, which we just went over it. So if you see a bouquet garni, you should know exactly what it is, or a sachet de piece if desired. Okay. Bring the liquid slowly to a boil, reduce to a simmer and cook. Skim it occasionally, then the main ingredient is tender and the flavor is fully developed. Okay. A good indicator of the soup is done is when you first add ingredients and you bring it to boiling point. Whatever soup you make is going to form that foam on top of the soup. Okay. When you taste that soup at that time, everything's going to taste individually raw. When the foam goes away or turns darker in color, you taste it again, and all the flavors are going to be fused now. Keep that in mind as you're making your soups, okay? Anyways, carefully strain the broth through a china cap lined with damp cheesecloth. Try not to disturb the flavoring ingredients as little as possible in order to preserve the broth's clarity. Cool and store the following procedure for cooling stocks. Just be careful with the dishwasher that doesn't throw away our soups, right? Son of a biscuit. I'm like, dude, my kitchen boys and my kitchen chef wanted to come out and cuss the hell out of him, but nah, it's a human mistake. But we are getting bones. I talked to Chef Rab and he's getting us bones, okay? So we were safe, we got to restart again. Okay? Anyways, cool in stock, cool in store. Following the right procedures, okay? Broth-based soups. Broths are often used as bases for such familiar soups as vegetables, chicken noodle, and beef barley. I love beef and barley. Transforming a broth into a broth-based soup, for example, is quite simple. Although the broth may be served with vegetables or meat garnishes, a broth-based soup is a soup in which the vegetables and meats are cooked directly on the broth, adding flavor, body, and texture to the finished product. A number of vegetables can be used to make a vegetable soup. It could be a single vegetable or is an onion soup or a dozen different vegetables for a hearty minestrone. Love some French onion soup. And again, sweat long cooking vegetables in butter or fat. Add the appropriate stock or broth and bring it to a simmer. Add seasonings such as bay leaves, dry thyme, crushed peppercorns, parsley stems, garlic, and a sachet allowing enough time for the seasonings to fully flavor the soup. Add additional ingredients according to the cooking times. Simmer the soup to blend all the flavors. If the soup is not going to be served immediately, cool and refrigerate just before service. Any garnishes were prepared separately and do not require cooking. Variations. Wide variety of vegetables can be added or substituted. Consommes, which are pain in the butt, take about 2 or 3 days to make. Consomme is a stock or broth that has been clarified to remove impurities so that it's crystal clear. Traditionally, all clear broths are referred to as consomme. A clear broth, further refined by using the process described later, was referred to as a double consomme. The term double consomme is still occasionally to describe any strong flavor consomme. So to clarify a broth or liquid or consomme, we use what we call, so let's say, for example, we make stock, like the stock you guys made last week, right? It's not clear, right? Crystal clear, it's dark, right? It's rich. If we want to clear that stock, we would grab some ground beef and mirepoix of onions, celery, and carrots, a little bit of garlic, and egg whites. Mix the meat, vegetables with egg whites, put it in a pot, and slowly pour that stock in it cold until it's 3/4 of the way up, and then turn the stove on, medium to low heat, and the heat is going to activate. Is going to bring that, what we call the raft, the ground beef mirepoix up to the top. It's going to rise to the top. At that point, we make a hole in the middle And as it's heating up, you turn the heat to low because it needs to simmer, not bubble. It needs to simmer, and that raft sitting on top is going to act like a magnet, pulling all the impurities to it, leaving that broth crystal clear. It takes a long time, and you keep on skimming it, keep on skimming the impurities out. Plus, that beef's going to give it more flavor. When it's done, it's going to be crystal clear, and you're going to slowly, gently remove that wrap without disturbing it. Okay, that's trash. And the China cap, like with cheese cloth, slowly grab the liquid and strain it through the China cap, not to disturb the bottom. And when you're going to have here on the side, everything that is once it's strained, it's a clear liquid, crystal clear or amber clear, depending on the stock, that you can see through it. That is a consomme. It's tedious, takes a long time, but man, it's one of the old school techniques that it's amazing how you can clarify some items like that. In the wine industry world, if you're a vegan, okay, when you order a white wine, you have the right to say, as a customer, is this white wine vegan? Okay. Bet you guys didn't know that, right? Because there's no animal product, right? It's grapes, fermented grapes, right? Fermented grape juice, right? But to clarify that white wine to have it crystal clear, guess what they used to clarify it with? Egg whites. So if you're a vegan, ask you that white wine is vegan, okay? It's not made with animal product, but animal product is used to clarify it. Just FYI, okay? Anywho, consomme. So procedure for making consommes, again, I just went over the steps how to make it, okay? But there it is, okay? What else? Thick soups. There are two kinds of thick soups, cream soups and puree soups. In general, cream soups are thinking with a roux, remember roux, butter and flour, right? Or to start. Whereas puree soups rely on the puree or the main ingredient for thickening. But it's certainly ways to, for the two soups are very similar. Some puree soups are finished with cream, in particular, partially chicken with the roux or this other starch. Cream soups. Most cream soups are made by simmering the main flavoring ingredient, for example, broccoli for cream or broccoli soup, in a white stock or a thin velouté sauce to which seasonings may have been added. The mixture is then pureed and strained until the consistency has been adjusted. The soup is finished by adding cream. In a classic cuisine, thin bechamel sauce is often used as the base for cream soups and can be substituted for velouté in many cream soup recipes. If desired, properly made cream soups should have silken texture and a thickness for heavy cream. The flavor of the soup's main ingredient should be pronounced, okay? So that's another way how to utilize that bechamel. Maybe you want to make some broccoli cheddar cheese soup, use the bechamel. Both hard vegetables, for example, celery or squash, and soft or leafy vegetables, for example, spinach, corn, broccoli, and asparagus, are used for cream soups. I love to make asparagus soup. Hard vegetables are generally sweated and buttered without browning before the liquid is added. Soft and leafy vegetables are generally added to the soup after the liquid is brought to a boil. Because cream soups are pureed, it is important to cook the flavor ingredients until they are soft and can be passed through a food mill easily. All cream soups are finished with milk or cream, cream. Using milk thins the soup while adding richness. Using the same amount of cream adds much more richness without the same thickening effect. Cold milk and add cream. Cold milk and cream curdles easily if added directly to a hot or acidic soup to prevent curdling. So don't add milk or heavy cream to acidic soup because it'll curdle it like cottage cheese, okay? So again, for making cream soups, in a soup pot, sweat the vegetables such as squash, onions, carrots, celery in oil or butter without browning in order to thicken the soup, okay? Add the flour, cook to make a blanc roux. Then add the cooking liquid, which is a stock, just like you guys did velouté, same style, okay? What else? Bring to a boil and reduce simmer. Any soft vegetables such as broccoli, asparagus, or sachet bouquet garni as desired to give it flavor. Simmer the soup, skim it occasionally until the vegetables are very tender. Puree the soup by passing through a food mill, blender, or food processor, or vertically cut a mixer. Strain through a china cap if desired. The soup is too thick. Adjust the consistency by adding hot white stock. Never add cold milk or Never add cold milk or cream to a hot soup. Bring the milk or cream to a simmer before adding it to the soup. I sometimes add alcohol. I don't really, go for that rule. Or temper the milk and cream by gradually adding some hot soup and incorporate it into the warm mixture for the rest of the soup. Personal preference. Add the milk and cream to the soup just before serving, if possible. Do not boil the soup after the milk or cream has been added. Personal preference. Use bechamel cream sauce instead of milk or cream to finish cream soups because the presence of roux or other starch helps prevent curdling. Okay. Puree soups. Puree soups are hearty soups made by cooking starchy vegetables, legumes in a stock or broth. They bring all or a portion of the amount to thicken the soup. Puree soups are similar to cream soups in that they are both consist of a main ingredient, okay, that is first cooked in a liquid, then puree. Primary difference is like on cream soups, which are thickened with a starch. Puree soups generally do not use additional starch for thickening because of the beans or legumes are starchy enough. Okay, like lentil soup, you don't need the thickening agent because lentils are very starchy. Potatoes, a little bit of roux. Rather, puree soups depend on the starch content of the main ingredient for thickening. Also, puree soups are generally coarser than cream soups and are typically not strained after pureeing. When finished, finish the puree soup to the cream, although the guidance discussed previously by adding cream to the soups. Puree soups can be made with dried or fresh beans such as peas, lentils, and navy beans, or with a number of veggies, including cauliflower, celery root, turnips, and or potatoes. Dashed potato to rice is often used to help thicken vegetable puree soups. Maybe. Bisques. I love that. Oh man, I love how to make shrimp or lobster bisque, my favorite. Traditional bisques are shellfish soups thickened with a cooked rice. I like to use roux. Today, bisques are prepared by using a combination of cream and puree soup procedures, generally made from shrimp shells, lobster, crayfish, and are thickened with a roux instead of rice for better stability and consistency. Like I said, I go with my roux. I don't like to thicken with rice. Much of a bisque flavor comes from crustacean shells, which are simmered in the cooking liquid, pureed along with a mirepoix. Return to the cooking liquid and strain after the cooking. Pureeing the shells and returning to the pot. The soup also adds thickness and grain texture associated with bisque. Sometimes I like to puree my shells and then strain to a fine chinois so I don't get none of that shells in it because I hate to chew on it and it feels like sand in your teeth. Okay. So bisques are enriched with cream following the procedures. What else? Procedure for making bisque. Caramelize the mirepoix, again, onions and carrots only. Add the main flavor ingredients and fat. Add tomato product deglazed with wine. Add cooking liquid, stocks velouté sauce. Incorporate roux if needed. Simmer and skim as needed. Strain the soup, reserving the solids and liquid. Puree the soups in a food mill or processor and turn to the liquid. Return to simmer. Strain through a fine chinois or china cap, like with cheesecloth. Return the soup and simmer in the finished hot cream. So a while ago, when I used to do lobster bisque, my favorite, I used to stink up the whole entire kitchen dining room. Everybody knew when I was making lobster bisque. So order my lobster heads, lobster bodies, put them in a sheet tray parchment paper, and roast them in the oven. No tomato paste. Roast the shells in the oven. All of that released that smell all over the place. And then while they were roasting, I would caramelize my carrots and onions on the tilt skillet, 60-gallon tilt skillet. Caramelize it in butter. Okay. And I would add my flour to that. My shells will come out. I will put them into the caramelized veggies with butter and flour, and mix them with the shells. And I put tomato paste on them too. Tomato paste, and I will deglaze it with red wine. Oh, that smell! Remember that smell with the red wine last week when it came out when you were making Espanol? That smell. Hit it with red wine, and then add the stock. Stir it to one stick. And crank it up so it can boil. When it was boiling, I will turn it low to medium to low, and let it simmer. As it was simmering, it will reduce, and the thickening agent in the roux will thicken it, like velouté. Then right before, 30 minutes before it come out, I will add heavy cream, cold heavy cream to that bisque. We'll stir it, and once the heavy cream hit that soup, that broth with caramelized veggies, roasted bodies, tomato paste, and red wines, the color will turn it burnt orange. And I will just strain that real fine. Man, awesome lobster bisque. And just put it on service, a little bit of the sherry and creme fraiche, delicious. Anyways, that's my story in lobster bisque. Love to make it. Yeah. What else? Chowders. You will be making New England clam chowder in regional class coming up in the next 2 kitchen blocks. Okay. By the way, does anybody knows what types of chowders are or style of chowders are besides New England clam chowder? There's another one. You guys know which one is it? There's 2 chowders in the States. One, you know, New England clam chowder, but there's another one. And it is clams. And it is from the East Coast.
I'm from the East Coast, but I don't know.
So in New England, you got New England clam chowder, right? Or Boston clam chowder, they're the same thing. Creamed potatoes, bacon, fresh thyme, clams, and what else? Some salt, pepper, right? So the other clam chowder is called Manhattan clam chowder. Right? It is made with clams, mirepoix,
Isn't it red?
bingo. Why is it red?
The tomato?
Voila, tomatoes. And it is a broth soup, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of. I don't really order it, but I've seen it like walk past me. But
It is Manhattan clam chowder. Why? Because the Italian population in Manhattan. Tomatoes. So it is a broth soup, Manhattan clam chowder with tomatoes and carrots. No cream, no taters. Okay. So that's your chowder. Okay. Also chowder. So
I found one in the book that says potato chowder with hot smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon. Ew.
It says potato chowder with hot smoked salmon.
I don't know about smoked salmon, but yeah, you can have potato chowder, corn chowder, but they're the same as New England clam chowder, minus the clams. The other one is the broth. Those two are cream, those all the creams, but this one is a broth. So chowders are associated with the eastern United States, where fish and clams are plentiful. They are of French origin. Another of the world chowder is derived from the Breton phrase prairie chauderie, which means to make a fish stew in a cauldron. The procedure was probably brought to Nova Scotia by French settlers and later introduced to New England. Chowders are hearty soups with chunks of main ingredients, including virtually always diced potatoes and garnishes, with some exception of notably Manhattan clam chowder. Like I said, chowders contain milk or cream, although they're thin chowders. Most chowders are thickened with roux. Procedure making chowders is similar to those making cream soups, except the chowders are not pureed or strained before the cream is added. Okay. How to make chowders? You render your finely diced salt pork or medium heat or bacon. Sweat mirepoix the rendered pork. Add flour to make roux. Add the liquid. Add seasoning, flavorings, ingredients according to the cooking times. Simmer, skimming as needed. Add milk or cream. In the wintertime, oh man, bake one of those artisan breads. Those big, hearty artisan breads. Cut the top off, haul it out. Put the clam chowder in it. You got a soup in the bowl. Oh man, OMG.
Like Panera bread?
Yep. Yeah. Soup in the bread bowl. Okay.
Those are delicious.
I never had that.
Oh, it's
like
good.
Soup in a bread bowl. I feel like it's a lot.
But it's good. But it's
a lot, but it tastes great.
It just hit the spot, especially in the cold winter months. Oh man.
There was one in Panera that I liked, was the wild rice one. They took it out. That one was pretty good.
Garnishes and toppings can range from a simple sprinkle of chopped parsley on a bowl of cream soup to tiny profiteroles stuffed with foie gras, adorning a crystal clear bowl of consomme. Some soups are so full of attractive, flavorful, and colorful foods that are integral parts of the soup that no additional garnishes are necessary. In others, the garnish determines the type of soup. For example, the beef broth garnished with cooked barley and diced beef comes from beef barley soup. Potatoes. Let's take a look at starches. Potatoes, grains, corn, rice, and wheat, and others. They're all known as starches. Some of those foods are vegetables, others are grasses. Okay? So yes, corn is a starch. So if you're going to have corn on your menu as a vegetable, they're going to might argue with you that it's a starch. Pastas, of course, are prepared products made from grains. Starches are, for the most part, stable foods that refine the cuisine and give it a substance. All are high in starch carbohydrates, low in fat, and commonly used as part of a well-balanced meal. Taters, potatoes, French, it's called pommes de terre. Okay, your menu tomorrow has that term, pommes de terre. One of a few vegetables native to the New World, probably originated in South America. Andes, Peru, and Ecuador have about 200 or 400 types of potatoes. Basically, potatoes are succulent, noteworthy annual plants. The portion consumed is a tuber, the soil and fresh part of the underground stem. Potatoes are hardy and easy to grow, making them inexpensive and widely available. Americans eat nearly 43 pounds of fresh potatoes and 55 pounds of frozen potatoes annually, making potatoes one of the top 5 vegetable crops in the United States. French fries, mashed potatoes, tater tots, home fries, right? The list goes on and on. Identifying potatoes, okay? Your russet are going to be the same as Idaho's. So the recipe says called russet, you can use Idaho's interchangeably, okay? You got Kennebec, Norland red, russet, red thumb, Russian banana, purple majesty, Lorette, I'm going backwards, Japanese sweet potato, Yukon gold, julienne, Hannah sweet potato, rose fin, can I go this way? All blue, Austrian crescent, red gold, French fingerling, and the other one you got, what is it, Cabinet gold, Delaware potato, and so forth, so on. So you have all kinds of potatoes. Like I said, there's a lot of different potatoes.
Is there somewhere we can see these slides
I'm going to look
on the portal?
When I'm done, I'm going to put them on the portal.
Oh, okay.
So choosing a potato, choose potatoes that are heavy and firm with a clean skin and a few eyes. Avoid those with many eyes, sprouts, green streaks, or soft spots, cracks, or cut edges. When ordering, the size A is larger than size B. Remember, size A is larger. B is the small, the red one. Which must be about 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches in diameter. Since C potatoes or creamers are the smallest size, measuring 3/4 of an inch to 1/5 of an inch diameter. New potatoes are small, immature potatoes of any variety that are harvested before their starches develop. Although red potatoes can be new, not all new potatoes are necessarily red skinned. Conversely, not all red skin potatoes are new. Confusing, right? True new potatoes are waxy with a high moisture content and thin, delicate skin. Fingerling potatoes are typically heirloom varieties related to the original potato varieties from Andes. They're generally small, long, and oblong with good flavor. The Russian banana looks like a small banana and it has a firm texture and rich, buttery flavor. Red streaked French fingerling has a nutty flavor. Red ruby crescent has a strong, earthy flavor. Or fingerling varieties tend to be low in starch and are good for roasting and potato salads. Purple potatoes or blue potatoes have a deep purple skin. The flesh of a purple, bright purple, becoming lighter when cooked. They are mealy with a flavor and texture similar to russets. The most varieties of blue are Caribe, which are also quite popular in the mid-19th century. Red potatoes have a thin red skin and crisp white and waxy flesh, best suited for boiling or steaming. They do not have the dry, mealy texture that a successful baking requires. Red potatoes are round instead of long or oblong. Popular varieties of red, Pontiac, and Norland. Okay. Russet Bourbon potatoes, okay, commonly referred to as Idaho potatoes. Like I said, if you can't find russet, Idaho is the same thing, or Burbank. They are the standard baking potatoes. They are long with a rough reddish brown skin and mealy flesh. Russets are excellent baking and the best potatoes for frying, like French fries. They tend to fall apart when boiled. That's why you can't overboil because it'll disintegrate. They're marketed as in several size categories, selecting those the size most appropriate for their intended use. So white potatoes are available in round and long varieties. They have a thin, tender skin with a tender, waxy yellow or white flesh. Round white potatoes are also referred to as chef or all-purpose potatoes. The white potatoes are usually cooked with moist heat or used for sauteing. White roast to finish yellow or yellowfin are popular varieties as well too. Sweet potatoes are from the different botanical family. They aren't the only potatoes, although they are less tubers originating in the New World. Two types are commonly available. One has a yellowish flesh and a dry mealy texture known as a boniato, right? Do you have boniato? The big in the East Coast, New York, boniato. What did I left off? Boniato. White or Cuban sweet potatoes, that's what they call too. The other has a dark orange moisture flesh. It's the highest in sugar. It's known as a red sweet potato. Both types have thick skins ranging from color from light to tan to brownish red. Sometimes dark skinned sweet potatoes are erroneously labeled yams. Sweet potatoes should be chosen according to the degree of sweetness. They are best suited for boiling, baking, and pureeing. Although the less sweet berries can be deep fried. The cooked fresh can also be used as breads, pies, puddings. Sweet potatoes are available canned, often in spice or sugary sauce. Sweet potato pie, delicious. Yams, oh yeah, that's good. A third type of tuber, botanically different from the both sweet potatoes and common potatoes. Yams are less than sweet than sweet potatoes. They can be used interchangeably. The fresh yams ranges from creamy white to deep red. Yams are Asian in origin and are now found in Africa, South America, and the southern United States. Nutrition of potatoes. Potatoes contain a high percentage of easily digestible complex carbohydrates and little or no fat. They're also a good source of minerals and vitamins, especially vitamin B6, vitamin C, and potassium. Although much of the vitamin C can be destroyed when potatoes are cooked in liquid. So again, you got variations of cooked potatoes. You got baked, twice baked, grand dauphinoise, lyonnaise, fried potatoes, boiled potatoes, mashed potatoes. Lyonnaise have a ton of cheese. Oh man. Your menu for tomorrow. Tomorrow. Guess what you're cooking? Potatoes.
All of that.
Potatoes, muchachos.
Potato salad tomorrow.
Vichyssoise.
Yes. It is a cold,
Mashed potatoes
yeah.
and potato cookies.
I guess we need like piping bags, right? Piping.
Yeah, I forgot to give you guys one on that when you came to guide your product. Forgot to give you one.
Always gonna forget something, huh?
I forgot. It wasn't list, but I should remember that it was it was needed because you're gonna need it for the duchesse. So yes, you're making vichyssoise. It is a cold leek and potato soup. It is not a hot soup. It is delicious too. It's well
I
rounded.
don't know how I feel about a cold soup.
It is
I've never had one.
really good. You also got pureed pommes de terre, which is mashed potatoes. You got pommes de terre duchesse, which is similar to the mashed potatoes, and potato salad. So how are we going to handle this meeting tomorrow? Okay. You're going to start your soup first. Get it started. While that is going, you can peel the potatoes for the pommes de terre and duchesse. Peel them and cut them. Boil them in the same container. When they cook, take them out, strain it, split them in two. One is for the terre, the mashed potatoes. You're going to add some butter, heavy cream, and a little bit of salt. Not too much butter, not too much heavy cream. They need to be firm because they need to be piped. Okay. The other ones, you're going to follow the recipe. Okay. Add the egg yolks, a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper, and you're going to pipe them. I'm going to show you the technique how to pipe them. And those are going to be baked in the oven until they're golden brown. Okay, golden brown. And the third one, the fourth one is a potato salad. Okay, potato salad. You're not making your family's recipe of mashed potato salad. It's all about the knife cuts. Okay, peel the potato, medium dice it, boil it until it's tender. Strain it. Okay, cool it down in your refrigerator or room temperature. Make your mayonnaise. If you don't have mayonnaise, we'll make it on the campus. Okay. Small dash of celery, small dash of onion. Mix it in with those cold potatoes with your mayonnaise, salt. That's it. Nothing else. No paprika, no chili powder, no cayenne, none of that. Okay, none of that. Okay, you're gonna garnish it with the radishes. That is an edible garnish. I know, we know years and years of eating potato salad with paprika. That is not the garnish for potato salad.
The recipe says you
got
put
two.
pickles.
Yes, for the relish, the gherkins.
So we got two types of potatoes. We're using certain ones for certain things, or is it like a mixture of both?
You can use mix it both. I mean, like I go straight
Okay.
across. I don't mix it, man. I just go brush it all the way across. So again, your potato salad is all about your knife cuts. Don't want to see mashed potato salad. I want you to emphasize your knife cuts. Show me that you know what knife cuts are all about. Again, it's potato salad, not celery and onion salad. It's potato salad. Onion celery cuts can be secondary. Okay, and don't go crazy adding paprika, cayenne, or chili powder. Leave that off the potato salad. Okay.
So a homemade piping bag would be like a Ziploc bag and cut the tip.
Correct. So that's what you're making tomorrow. Vichyssoise, the duchesse and salad. Okay. Let me see if I have how to make vichyssoise here in a minute. Okay.
All these recipes, I found one on the book, but we could, when we're writing the production sheet, we could go by what it says here.
On the portal, not on the book.
Uh-huh.
The book is your reference to go to, but your recipes are on the portal, okay? So here's a little demo on the video how to make that vichyssoise. For those of you guys who are having a hard time envisioning it, okay? I'm gonna put the link on the chat too, okay?
Potato leek soup. That's right, we're doing the only soup that successfully leaves a double one. Although there could be others we haven't found out. But as far as we know, this is the only one. Since if you serve it hot, it's potato leek soup. But if you serve it chilled, it also goes by the name of vichyssoise, which is quite delicious. It would probably be easier to rhyme with. But since it's kind of chilly and damp out, we're going to be going with the hot version. And to get started with this delicious soup, the first thing we're going to have to do is take a leek. Actually, like 4 of them. And we're going to need to trim them up. And while most recipes say to just use the white and very light green parts, I do like to include about 1 inch or 2 of that dark green. So I'm going to cut mine right there. And then we can go ahead and cut off that root end and split it lengthwise. And usually we wash our veggies before we cut them. But because leeks are famous for having dirt, sand hiding between all those layers, what we need to do is cut this first and then wash it. So we'll simply split that lengthwise and cut it across as shown. Oh, and I should mention, when you buy the leeks, we're going to need 1.5 pounds after trimming. Okay, which is probably going to be like 4 or 5 weeks, depending on the size. So I just wanted to mention, in case you bought 1.5 pounds of leeks, after trimming, that wouldn't be enough. And then once all our leeks are sliced, we'll transfer that into a large bowl and fill that up with nice cold fresh water. And then we'll get in there with our hand and swish it around and swish it around it. And what's happening as you do this, any silt or sand or dirt is falling to the bottom of the bowl. And if we lift those leeks out of the water post-agitation, they should be pretty clean. And by the way, depending on how dirty they are to start with, we can do that 3 or 4 times if necessary. So I did that for you, but that's going to be up to you. I mean, you are the boss of making sure your leaf is on food. But anyway, once our leeks are trimmed, washed, and dried, we are ready to move to the stove, where we're going to begin this recipe using the classic French soup method, which is exactly like all the other soup methods, except we use twice as much butter. So we'll go ahead and melt a dangerously large amount of butter in our soup pot set over medium-high heat. And once that melts, or at least partially melts, we can go ahead and transfer in our leeks. And then we'll also want to toss in a spoon of salt. And what we're going to do is cook these leeks stirring on medium-high until they just sort of start to break down and soften up. All right, which is going to take, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. And then what we'll do when they start to slump and sort of kind of look like this is we'll reduce our heat down to medium and cook these for at least 30 minutes or until very, very, very soft. And please do not rush this step. It is the key to the entire recipe. Okay, so we're going to let those cook in that butter on medium heat, stirring occasionally, for, like I said, at least 30 minutes. Although it could take more, no guarantee. And one thing we can do to keep ourselves entertained while we're waiting is to go ahead and prep our potatoes. And my favorite variety of potato for soup would be the Yukon Gold. I like the taste and texture. But I also think they give this soup an even more beautiful color. And all we need to do to prep these would be to peel them and cut them in smaller pieces. So I cut mine into eighths, and then we'll just keep those in some water so they don't turn brown while we're waiting for our leeks to finish. Speaking of which, let's go take a look. And you're probably thinking, those look nice and soft. I would stop right here. Well, they were close, but not quite as soft as I wanted. So I gave those about another 10 minutes until they look like this. So you really do want to go this far. It is critical to the recipe. They should be very, very soft and almost paste-like. And at this point, we go ahead and drain our potatoes and add those to the pot, along with some more salt, as well as our cooking liquid, which in my case is going to be chicken broth. Although a lot of recipes call for vegetable stock, which I've never made, since I've never been able to find vegetable broth. So I'm going to go with the chicken broth. And then what we need to do at this point is adjust our heat to maintain a gentle but steady simmer. And we'll simply cook these potatoes until they're very, very soft. And exactly how long that's going to take, I'm not even going to guess it, because I'm assuming we didn't cut our potatoes exactly the same size. So we're just going to let those simmer until they're perfectly tender. And this is me about a half hour later checking mine, except I'm using a wooden spoon, which is definitely not the right tool for this job. So I grabbed a fork to verify what I suspected, and I confirmed that they were very soft, which means we can move on to the blending step. And I'm going to do mine right in the pot with a submersion blender. But if you don't have one, you can just do this in batches with a regular blender. But be careful, don't burn yourself. Now that is some quality advice. But anyway, I'm going to use my stick blender. And even though we're going to add some more liquid to this, I always think it's easier to blend something like this smooth if you leave it thick. So it might take a minute or two. But once those larger chunks break down, you should only be a minute or two away from a very, very smooth puree. So that is looking just about perfect right there. And then what we'll do once that's been accomplished is go ahead and finish this off with some heavy cream. Ooh, check it out, heart-shaped grits. Anyway, we're gonna add some heavy cream, as well as a nice big spoon of creme fraiche. Oh, by the way, don't worry if you can't find creme fraiche. I'll provide a link on the blog post to a video that we showed you how to make your own. But anyway, we're gonna stir that in. And our soup is pretty much done except for two very important things. We of course need to make sure this heats back up, since we just added some cold cream and creme fraiche. Plus, of course, we're gonna have to taste for seasoning. And I determined mine needed, as it so often does, a little more salt. And then I just couldn't help myself. I also added a little bit of cayenne. Although I will admit, white pepper would be more traditional. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir that in. And like I said, wait for this to come back up to serving time. We don't really need it to come back to a rolling boil, but we do want to serve this soup piping hot. And once we are happy with the temperature and the taste, we'll go ahead and ladle it up into some nice preheated bowls. Only crazy people serve soup in cold bowls. And then I finished up with a little extra swirl of creme fraiche, which was exactly one drip away from perfection. And then we'll finish up with a few choppers. And that's it, our potato leek soup is done. And not only is it gorgeous and warm and comforting, it is also one of the most delicious soups of all time. And we have
Potato leek soup, but it's going to be served cold, not hot. Okay. And then it's really
What is that he garnished with? Heavy cream? Sour cream?
Chives. Sour cream. Chives, Chinese sour cream. So here's the
checkers game.
here's the Duchess potatoes, guys. Okay, you guys can take a look at Duchess. Okay. Let's start. Okay. Wait. This is the Duchess potatoes coming up. Okay. That is a very small tip. You're gonna use your bigger tip, all right? Dulces potatoes. Any questions about that? Any thoughts about it?
That looks easy.
Right? So there you go. Potato day tomorrow. Vichyssoise cold leek potato soup. Mashed potatoes, we are going to pipe them as well too. We're not going to put them in a bowl like you see here. They're going to be piped as well, okay? And there's a reason why we're going to pipe them, okay? It's all about presentation. It's all about that bouginess, right? So we're going to pipe these potatoes, okay? So that's Tuesday's menu, okay? Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. Let's take a look at Wednesday's menu. Let's go to pasta, Wednesday. Wednesday, we're making pasta. Your tomato sauce for Wednesday. Pasta, I think this is on your chapter 23 in your book. Pasta is made from an unleavened dough or of wheat flour mixed with a liquid. Liquid is usually egg and or water. The flour can be from almost any grain. I mean, the flour can be from any grain, wheat, buckwheat, rice, or a combination of grains. The dough can be colored or flavored with pureed vegetables. Herbs are the ingredients. It can be cut or extruded into a wide variety of shapes and sizes. Pasta can be cooked fresh while the dough is still moist and pliable, or the dough can be allowed to dry completely before cooking. Pasta can be filled with sauce in an endless variety of ways. It can stand alone or be used in salads, desserts, soups, and or casseroles. Pasta is widely used in the cuisine of Asia, North America, and Europe. In Italy, pasta dishes are usually served with separate course, often referred as that minestre. In other European countries, Asia, and the United States, pasta dishes may be served as an appetizer, entree, or side dish. Okay. So pasta, pasta, pasta. Okay. Identifying pasta. The better known pastas are based in the Italian tradition of kneading wheat flour with water and eggs to form a smooth, resilient dough. This dough is then rolled very thin and cut to various shapes before being boiled in water and dried for longer storage. Commercially prepared dry pastas products are usually made with semolina flour. We are going to try to make our pasta with semolina flour, okay, on Wednesday, okay? I know you guys got some, but it's not enough to make pasta, okay? You probably got flour, so you can make yours with flour, okay? Semolina flour ground from hard durum wheat is available from specialty purveyors such as has a rich creamy color and produces a very smooth, durable dough. Semolina dough requires a great deal of kneading. However, and bread flour is an acceptable substitute when preparing fresh pasta by hand. Asian pasta, generally known as noodles, is made from wheat, rice, bean, or buckwheat flour. It is available fresh or dry from commercial purveyors and specialty markets. Italian-style pasta, made with pure semolina flour, which gives dough the rich yellow color. Gray or streaked dough probably contains softer flours. Ribbons, tubes, shapes, Asian noodles, wheat noodles, rice noodles, bean starch noodles, buckwheat noodles. Okay. Many of us grew up with the kitchen pantries that overflow with boxes of dry pasta. Yeah, ronzini, del cecco, right? In all shapes and sizes and textures, this dinner time mainstreams came through from brands like, again, del cecco, ronzini, Barilla, and more all reliable sources of pasta that seem to be paired perfectly with all-day Sunday sauce in the quick weekday marinara. Home cooks and the families they fed were all thoroughly content with the dry pastas lifestyles and never considered an alternative to foods that shaped the Italian-American upbringing. Of course, we're all fully aware of the fresh pasta. Many of us can't even recall kitchen memories of flour, egg, pasta, and rolling machines. I didn't have that childhood, I'm sorry. But it was always far more common break to open up a box of dry spaghetti or penne pasta rigatoni when pasta and sauce was on the dinner menu. I still love some pasta and tomato sauce once in a while. Then sometimes around 1990s to 2000, food found its way into the pop culture. This foodie movement spawned the Food Network and similar entertainment efforts that elevated eating to trending new heights. While this phenomenon led to a celebration of cultures from around the world, it also resulted in unfortunate instances of food discrimination, where pretentious types would scoff at any foods deemed not fresh. Truly convenient became a pejorative term for the food industry. Stops. In some food circles, dry pasta was labeled as inferior to its fresh counterpart and unworthy of sauces prepared by five-star chefs and home cooks alike. But there was ever a food opinion about it was when the cook, it was that. The food is both fresh and dry pasta belong in your kitchen repertoire. There are recipes that benefit from having fresh pasta on hand, while there are some preparations that will be far more successful when you utilize boxed dry pasta. And in the end, it isn't the main goal to create a meal that is above all else delicious. Before choosing what dish to make and which type of pasta to use, it is important to know what separates the two variations. So what are the main differences between the two forms of pasta, and which you can choose, the boxed variety or fresh, and vice versa. Personal preference. Fresh pasta and dry pasta are actually two completely different types of pasta. Normal pasta begins life as a fresh pasta. For example, you don't take fresh pasta and hang it in a food dehydrator to make dry pasta. And dry pasta certainly isn't fresh pasta that's gone bad or left out to go stale like bread. The two types of pasta is actually comprised of unique ingredients, which end up resulting in two products that are basically two different foods. Dry pasta is made with a different kind of dough and without eggs, which along with flour are primary ingredients of the fresh pasta. The two separate preparations produce disparate textures, tastes, colors, and what's more, many of the pasta shapes you know and love are possibly with dried pasta. Dry pasta made from semolina flour, water, and salt can be stored at room temperature almost indefinitely. Air-dried, bronze-text extruded pastas originated in southern Italy. The firmness of dry pasta allows it to hold its hearty sauces. The rough texture helps flavorful sauces to cling to dry pasta. Most shapes of dry pasta double the shape when cooked. Fresh pasta contains eggs in addition to water, more tender to dry, and takes half the time to cook. The delicate texture makes it perfect for cream and dairy-based sauces. Fresh pasta is far more smooth than dry. Fresh pasta is more commonly in northern Italy. It tends to be more expensive than dried and also must be refrigerated. Okay. You ever heard the term al dente? Because that's how we are going to check our pasta if it's done or not. Okay. It is a toothsome bite that all pasta chefs worth their salt strive for in the kitchen. This firm structure is the main calling card for dry pasta, provides the strength needed for dry pasta to stand to heavier sauces with more ingredients. Some of the very best long dry pastas, including spaghetti, rigatoni, linguine, and bucatini, all take extremely well to tomato sauces and ingredients like meat, garlic, oil, capers, olives, anchovies, beans, peas, and chopped veggies. There are many pasta sauces pairings that have become classic in Italian and American cooking. When should you use fresh pasta? Fresh pasta, on the other hand, is intended to be served al dente. Instead, this pasta should be prepared under its tender and almost velvety to the touch and to the tooth. So al dente. This makes fresh pasta ideal for delicate sauces that use melted butter or whole milk as a base, like Alfredo or carbonara, which are magnificent with fresh pasta like tagliatelle, pappardelle, and fettuccine. A quick note about pappardelle, you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, pappardelle is a fresh pasta and it goes wonderfully with hearty, meaty bolognese sauce. What gives? The key to great bolognese is an inclusion of simmering milk to the tomato-based meat sauce. Yes, it's milk. Okay, this dairy element that makes pappardelle go to pasta for bolognese. Grains. Botanical grains are grasses that bear edible seeds. Corn, rice, and wheat are more significant. Both the fruit that is the seed of the kernel and the plant that are called grain. Most grain kernels are protected by hull or husk. All kernels are composed to these distinct parts: the bran, endosperm, and germ. The bran is a tough outer layer covering the endosperm. Bran is a good source of fiber, B-complex vitamins. The endosperm is the largest part of the kernel and a source of protein and carbohydrates or starch. It is the part primarily used in meal products such as flour. The germ is the smallest portion of the grain that is only the part that contains the fat. It also rich in thiamine. The bran, endosperm, and the germ can be separated by milling. Identifying grains. Some products are available in the stone ground form. This means that grains are ground with some stone meal rather than by steel. Blades typically used for cracking, grinding, hulling, and peeling. Stone grinders are gentler and more precise, so they're less likely to grind the grain. Stone ground products will always be labeled such as, and are usually more expensive than steel ground ones. Like when you buy your oatmeal, right? Steel cut oatmeal or regular oatmeal. Okay. Corn, the only grain that is also eaten fresh as a vegetable. Its use as a dry grain dates back several thousand years in Central America and long preceded its use as a vegetable. Cornmeal, made by drying and grinding a special type of corn as a dent, which may be yellow, white, or blue. Cornmeal is most often used in breads as coating of fried foods or cooked polenta or mush. Products made with cornmeal have a gritty texture and sweet but starchy flavor. Hominy, also known as pozole or sand, is dried corn that has been soaked in hydrated lime or lye. This causes the kernels to swell, loosening the hulls. The hulls and germs are removed, the kernels are dried. These white or yellow kernels resemble popcorn, but with a soft, chewy texture and smoky, sour flavor. Hominy is available dried or cooked and canned. It may be served with a side of dish or used as a stew of soups. Masa harina, a finely ground flour made from a dried hominy, is used to making breads, tortillas, tamales, and other Mexican and Southwestern dishes as well. Arepas, delicious. Pupusas. Grits are delicious made by grinding dried hominy. So those are you guys like grits for breakfast in the morning? Made with hominy.
Isn't it hominy corn?
Yeah.
And I don't like that porridge either.
Made with hominy. The grits made with hominy. This tiny white granules may be used in baked dishes, but are most often served as a hot breakfast cereal. Usually topped with butter and cheese. Quick cooking and instant grits are available. Shrimp and grits. Oh yeah. Rice, baby. It's a starch seed of a semi-aquatic grass, probably originated in the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia. Rice is used as a staple by more than half the world's population. Rice can be incorporated into almost any cuisine, from Asia to Spanish to classic French. Its flavors adapt to the foods and seasoning with the rice. It's cooked and served. Its texture adds an appealing chutneys to meat and poultry dishes, salads, breads, and puddings. Rice is not limited to a side dish, but may be used as stews or curries for stuffing vegetables or game birds. And in puddings, salads, beverages such as Mexican horchata. Oh yeah, some horchata, milk, vanilla, cinnamon. Oh yeah. Rice is divided into three basic categories or seed sites: long grain, medium grain, or short grain for sushi or risotto. Long grain is the most versatile and popular worldwide. The grains remain firm, fluffy, separate, and cooked. It can become sticky if overcooked or stirred frequently during cooking. Short grain rice has more starch and becomes quite tender and sticky when cooked. Italian risotto, Japanese sushi, and Spanish paella are all traditionally made with a short grain rice. The appearance of starch clumping and medium grain rice feels somewhere between medium grain rice, becomes sticky when cool, so it's best eaten with freshly and made piping hot. Long grain rice or short grain rice is available in different process forms. All rice is originally brown. The grains can be left whole with the bran attached for brown rice, so they can be pearl for more familiar polished white rice. Both brown rice and white rice can be processed into converted rice and instant rice as well too. Converted rice is parboiled to remove the surface starch. Uncle Ben's, right? The procedure also forces nutrients from the bran into the grain's endosperm. Therefore, converted rice contains more nutrients than regular meal white rice. Although the flavor is the same, converted rice is neither pre-cooked nor instant. In fact, cooks more slowly than regular meal white rice. Instant or quick cooking rice is well available and is useful time. It's a concern. Instant rice is treated by fully cooking and then flash freezing meal rice. Unfortunately, this process removes some of the nutrients and flavor. Arborio is a round, short grain rice, usually primarily in Italian dishes, such as risotto, very sticky, with a white color and mild flavor. Basmati is one of the finest long grain rice in the world. It grows in the Himalayan foothills and is preferred in Indian cuisine. Oh yeah, some matar pulas and green chutney, aloo gobi. It is highly aromatic and sweet, delicate flavor, and creamy yellow color. Basmati usually aged to improve its aromatic qualities and grainy with a sandy texture. Therefore, it should not be substituted for all the wheat, flour, breads, or baked goods. Okay. Other grains, you got millet. Millet is a high-protein cereal grain or with bland, slightly nutty flavor and white color, usually principally as animal fodder in the United States. Millet can be cooked and eaten with rice or toasted like buckwheat or cooked like kasha. It can also be ground or flour when used in baking. It is best combined with wheat flour. Millet is usually sold whole, and the husk is extremely hard. Oats. After rice, oats are probably the most widely acceptable whole grain product in the American diet. Oats are consumed daily as a hot breakfast cereal, oatmeal, and are used in breads, muffins, cookies, and other baked goods. Oat groat is the whole oat kernel that only husk is removed. It contains both the bran and the germ. Steel cut oats, sometimes known as Irish oats, are groats that are toasted and cut into small pieces with steel blades. Roll oats, marketed old-fashioned oats, are groats that have been steamed, then rolled into flakes. Quick cooking oats are simply just rolled oats cut into small pieces to reduce cooking time. Instant oats are partially cooked and dry before rolling so that they need to be you had in boiling water. Roll oats and quick cooking oats can be used interchangeably, but instant oats should be substituted in most recipes. Oat bran is honored covering the whole oat. It is available as a separate product. Although roll oat and cut oats do contain the same oat bran. Quinoa is a lot harder. Native to South America, Andes, and was common food in the Incas, who referred to as a mother grain. Although not botanical true grain, quinoa's tiny seeds are treated as such. The grains are small, flattened spheres, approximately 1/16 inch in diameter. Ring of the germ, they become translucent when cooked and have a slightly smoky sesame seed-like flavor. Small varieties of quinoa available, ranging in color from dark brown to almost white. The larger white varieties are mostly common and considered superior. Okay. Your menu for Wednesday. Your menu for Wednesday. You are making basic pasta dough. Okay. I'm gonna give you two different recipes. Okay. You are going to be making fettuccine with a pasta dough by hand, not with the machine. Okay. You're also making crispy polenta, okay, and creamy polenta, two different recipes. And you're going to soak some black beans for the next day to cook with, okay? So that is what's happening Wednesday, okay, Wednesday, okay? So the pasta dough, I think you got bread flour on your cart, on your product. You got eggs too, right? So I'm gonna give you the recipe for that. We're gonna make it. It takes about 20 minutes to knead that dough. It's gotta be smooth, not like the surface of the moon. Very smooth. You're gonna wrap it, let it rest for 20 minutes. Bring it out. You're gonna roll it back and forth to make a long rectangle oblong shape. Not square, not triangle, oblong. That's what we're looking for, okay? When you get it thinner than 1/8 of an inch thin, okay, then you're gonna, anyways, you're gonna flour your table quite a bit so it doesn't stick to your table. When you get that thin, you're gonna flour it, fold it, flour it, fold it, flour, fold it again, and you're gonna cut it with your knife about 1/4 of an inch thick, okay? You're gonna pull those strands and fluff them up into different bundles and dust them with flour so they don't stick together. You're gonna get boiling water in the stove that with salt, teaspoon of salt, maybe 2 quarts of boiling water, and you're gonna boil your pasta, cook your pasta in boiling water until it becomes al dente, to the T. When it's done that, remove it, strain it, put it in a bowl with a little bit of oil, so it doesn't stick together because the pasta is still bleeding starch. And what happens if you let it bleed more starch, it's gonna go back and clump up, big old clumpy mess, okay? So fluff it and toss it with oil, okay? So it doesn't clump up. And then you're gonna finish the tomato sauce. You're gonna bring it out, put it in the stove top, reheat it, and you're gonna puree it, and then add whatever flavor you want to that tomato sauce. And then you're gonna finish it with butter, and that's gonna be your sauce for the fettuccine, okay? Crazy polenta, you're gonna make it according to the recipe, putting a little container, spray the container with spray, about 1 inch thick. Inch and a half thick, give or take, okay? So it's gonna be about this wide and about this thick. The thicker it is, the better. Once you pat it down and shape it to about that inch thick, it'll be a little very square rectangle shape. Put it in your refrigerator. Let it firm up. Bring it out, cut it, lightly dust it with flour, and saute it on a pan with hot butter until it gets golden brown on the outside. That is a crispy polenta. Creamy, just follow the recipe, okay? And you're gonna soak the black beans. And you can use some of your.
What do you eat? What do you eat the crispy polenta with? What does that go with?
It's like an appetizer. See the picture?
Oh, okay. I've never ate it.
See the picture on the bottom? Tomato sauce on the bottom? Little cookie
Yeah,
cutter,
that's what I was looking at, like the tomato sauce underneath it.
little basil, tomatoes, yeah. Okay. And creamy polenta is like oatmeal with grits, okay? So this is your pasta recipe. Do not use the one in the portal. Use the one on the right-hand side that says 00 flour. Okay. Again, this is your pasta recipe for Wednesday. Do not use the one in the portal, okay? I know it says here 00 flour. Use your bread flour you got on your cart, okay? 00 flour, it's pizza flour, best suited for ravioli and pizza or focaccia, okay? But you have bread flour, okay? The other one, semolina, write in both, or take a picture, okay? That one has 120 grams semolina and 50 grams of water. We're gonna try to make that on campus, Miss Ariel, Quincy, and Frank. We're gonna try to make that pasta on campus, okay? Same technique, same style, okay? You're gonna grab a mound of that flour, dig a hole in it, either put your egg or your water, whichever recipe you're making, and start rolling it until it becomes tighter. And it takes 20 minutes to knead that dough. 20 minutes to knead it, 20 minutes to rest it in the refrigerator, 5 to 7 minutes to cook, okay? You're looking about almost 2 hours from A to C for making that pasta. So keep that in mind when your production tomorrow. 2 hours from A to Z on that pasta. That small amount, okay?
So we should start the pasta first.
Bingo. Those of you guys who are online, you can start it before we start class. You want to start at 5 o'clock, go for it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We on campus, we don't have the luxury. So as soon as you guys get in, Miss Ariel and Mr. Frank, Quincy and hopefully Michael, as soon as you get in, start that pasta right off the bat because it takes 2 hours from A to Z, okay? And again, semolina pasta dough is preferred for fettuccine, spaghetti, lasagna. Flour pasta dough is preferred for ravioli, tortellini, okay? It can also work as fettuccine. So what is the difference between double O sliced pizza flour and bread flour or AP flour? Pizza flour has a 14% protein content, as bread flour has 12%. Makes a hell of a better pizza shell, trust me, okay? So that's your menu for Wednesday, okay? There you go. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 recipes to do on Wednesday. 4 recipes on your production sheet, okay? Any questions from that menu? Let's take a look at that technique on pasta so you guys can know, kind of visualize where you're walking in, okay? And we're not going to follow this recipe, but we're going to follow that technique, all right, guys? Come on.
Jen, the All Recipes member who submitted this fresh semolina and egg pasta recipe says, nothing beats fresh pasta, and this simple recipe is the best thing ever. You can use this recipe to make any style of pasta you like, from fettuccine to ravioli to lasagna. Semolina is a special variety of wheat flour available at health food stores and gourmet grocery stores. Let's begin this recipe by sifting together 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of semolina flour, and a pinch of salt, and sift onto a clean work surface. Use a fork to make a deep well in the center. Crack 6 large eggs in a bowl. Pour them into the well. Add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Whisk the eggs and oil gently with a fork. Then begin to incorporate the flour mixture from the sides of the well. When the mixture becomes too thick to mix with a fork, begin kneading it with your hands. Dust the dough and work surface with semolina flour as needed to keep the dough from sticking. Knead the dough for 8 to 12 minutes or
20
until it's
20 minutes.
smooth and supple. Wrap the dough in plastic. And allow it to rest at room temperature for about 30 minutes.
20 minutes.
Unwrap the dough. Divide the dough into smaller pieces. And a small piece at a time, roll it out using the pasta machine
Yeah, we're not using pasta machine, we're using it by hand. We're gonna use a rolling pin and your knife, okay?
or a rolling pin to a thickness of about 1/16 of an inch or any desired thickness.
1/16 of an inch.
Flour is needed.
Almost like the width of your knife, the blade of your knife.
Cut the pasta into your favorite style of noodle, such as fettuccine or linguine, or into pasta sheets to make ravioli with your favorite filling.
So that's pasta on Wednesday, okay? Any questions? None? When you get to regionals, you're gonna make pasta again. So this is not the only time you're gonna make pasta, so you're gonna make pasta one more time. So keep those recipes with you because they're gonna come in handy, okay? So yeah, we're making it by hand on Wednesday, okay? Pasta, polenta, and we're gonna soak the black beans. That's what's happening Wednesday. Any questions about Wednesday? All right. All right. Thursday. Rice, we're gonna talk more about grains, different grains, okay? Grains, we just went on a whole bunch of grains about the endosperm, right? We got millet, we talked about that one. Wild rice is actually grass that grows in the lakes and streams. Takes a while to cook, but stays deliciously al dente, okay? Barley, the most nutritious barley in hulls or whole, not pearl, it contains more bran. Wheat berries, kernels of the whole wheat grain, brown and germ intact, hardwood generally chewy and then tender in the soft wheat. Frique, not freaky, frique. Those grains come from a grain under ripe wheat and that is roasted or smoked, giving that toasted flavor. Try using it to make tabbouleh. Amaranth, considered the superfood of the Aztecs. Amaranth is technically a seed. It has all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. Sorghum, dress these gluten-free grains generally with sauce vinaigrette, which it will be greatly absorbed. Farro, hardly wheat kernel is great in salads and soups. Used in place of arborio rice to make a farroto. Rye berries, if you like pumpernickel bread and Templeton rye whiskey, get to know the slender green tinted grains they come from. Spelt. Spelt smooth, shiny outer layer, stays intact when cooked, making it ideal for sauté dishes, likely to stick in the pan. Black rice contains, thanks to its relatively thin bran layer, Chinese black rice cooks fairly quickly. It delivers deep flavor and looks amazing in salads. Legumes, lots of legumes. Identifying legumes, we got peas, lentils, lima beans, peanuts, edamame, chickpeas, black beans, soybeans, white beans, red beans, pinto beans, all kinds of legumes. Lentils and peas, okay. Types of legumes, we got black beans or black turtle beans, have a soft, creamy texture that is great on its own or any number of South Central American dishes, especially in Cuban cuisine. A brown bean, similar to taste and texture of black pinto and kidney beans, you can easily use them interchangeably. Navy beans, otherwise known as haricot, pearl haricot bean, Boston beans, white pea bean or pea bean, are larger and then oval, slightly flat shape, become creamy when cooked, so they're great for smashing to make thick soups or creamy dips. Lentils come in all colors. Though brown and green are the varieties that you'll find most often in also section welding when cooked, making a great base for veggies and burgers. Red lentils have the outer seeds shell removed, meaning they're quicker in cooking and break down more. They're a great addition to soups and stews. Split peas have been split down the middle to help them cook faster, a classic Dutch pea soup. Chickpeas or garbanzo beans are Mediterranean Middle Eastern staple. They're rich, nutty flavor with great roasting, adding soups, whipping to hummus, or sprinkling over salads. Chickpeas, split chickpeas, typically the split version of the desi chickpeas, smaller yellow variation of chickpeas. These are common in Indian cuisine, where they're known as chana dal. Chana dal. How to cook legumes. Freshness is really important when it comes to dry legumes, according to Dry Bean Council. Beans that have been for over 12 months or in favorable conditions may never soften up. Okay, all beans will also have declined nutrient levels and best aged fresh. Dry beans are from a harvest of 4 months old. Okay, if you have some old legumes in hand, okay, in hand they will never become as soft as regular legumes. As food science Harold McGee. Okay, you guys avid readers? Anybody avid reader? Harold McGee has a book called On Food and Cooking, and it's about this thick, and it's about the science of food and cooking. Put me to sleep 5 times. I read it back to back until the 5th time, 6th time I read it, and I finally got it. It deals with the science behind cooking, and it goes into such depths that the first time I'm like, I had to walk away because I had a headache and my baby was popping my forehead. But I read it and it makes sense. It's about the science of cooking. So Harold McGee states that dry legumes become resistant to something when they're stored a long time, months at warm temperatures and high humidities. This resistance results in a number of changes in bean cells and interiors, including the formation of woody lignin, the conversion of phenolic compounds into tannins, the crossing proteins to a form of water-resistant coating around the starch granules. There's no way to reverse these changes and make hard-to-cook beans as soft as regular beans. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to assess the age of dry legumes. Look for a whole, firm, dry legumes with a slight sheen. Other legumes will look dull, appear dark in color, and have more cracked skins. Okay? To soak or not to soak, that is the question. Okay? There's so much conflicting information about soaking dry beans. Some say start a day ahead, some say soak overnight or for a couple of hours. You always maintain that you don't have to soak at all. Really, it's more personal preference, since there are both pros and cons to soaking. Things you need to consider are cooking time. The consensus is that soaking reduces cooking time. Yes, it does, because otherwise it'll take about 45 minutes to 2 hours to cook them. Depending on the type of legume you use, some smaller legumes such as lentils and split peas don't need to be soaked at all. Other legumes, however, should be soaked following one or the 2 basic soaking methods. Overnight soaking, put the legumes in a pot, cover them with water by 2 inches and let them soak for about 8 hours overnight. Quick soaking, put the legumes in a pot to the stove, cover them in water and boil them for 2 minutes. Turn off the heat and let the legumes soak for at least an hour, okay? Flatulence, legumes are rich in fiber and complex sugars, which humans cannot digest, okay? Bacteria is in the intestines, bacteria in the intestines digest these complex sugars while releasing carbon dioxide, which means, you know, the good old joke, right? You eat frijoles, you get gassy. Right? Anyways, if you still have intestinal issues from legumes, soaking them will definitely help. Nutrients, when you soak, some of the vitamins, minerals leaching through the soaking water. The common nutrients lost during soaking is pretty negligible though. Interesting, soaking actually increases the nutritional content of protein, fiber, and few nutrients, such as thiamine and calcium. A study published for the Plants and Foods and Human Nutrition and found these differences in nutrients in legumes. Another big question is whether to discard the soaking water or not. I don't keep it, I throw it away. This will matter if you decide not to soak your legumes. However, if you do, you'll be faced with a conflicting opinion. Once again, just discard the water. It's not good. Person preferred grinding the soaking liquid and cooking legumes in fresh water. This question to ask yourselves is why you're soaking legumes in the first place. Since soaking water contains elements that you were trying to eliminate, it only makes sense that you also drain the soaking water. Essentially, all the points for soaking apply to discarding soaking water as well. Yes, you lose some desirable nutrients. Yes, you lose some dark pigment, but you also decrease flatulence and potency of anti-nutrients found in legumes. To get the most flavor, consider cooking legumes in stock or broth instead of water. Especially when you're cooking black-eyed peas, man, some smoked ham hock, some smoked turkey. Oh yeah, some bacon. Oh yeah.
Charro beans.
Smoked ham hock is the best, man. You have soaking legumes or not, you have to drain the soak the water and rinse the legumes. You have covered them with each fresh water and salt them. Okay. Some of the methods cooking legumes include stovetop. Put legumes in a pot and cover them at least 2 inches of water. Bring to a boil and remove any foam that forms. Reduce heat to bare simmer and cook until tender. You gotta test them. Slow cooker. Put legumes in a slow cooker. Cover them until at least 2 inches of water. Add any herbs and spices you like on the spot. See the slow cooker for the low setting and cook on the legumes until they're tender. Pressure cooker, put legumes in a pressure cooker and cover them at least 2 inches of water. Add some herbs and spices, okay? And cook at a high pressure anywhere between 5 to 50 minutes, okay? Until about 35 or 45 minutes for larger beans. In the ovens, put legumes in an oven-safe pot and cover them with at least 2 inches of water. Bring to the pot to boil and then stovetop based on about 325 of it, and then go until tender. Little history of black beans. Black beans, botanically known as Phaceolus vulgaris, are native to the Americas, one of over 500 varieties of kidney beans. Black beans also are known as turtle beans, caviar criollo, and frijoles negros. These beans date back at least 7,000 years when they were staple food in the diets of Central and South Americans. They remain a popular food in many households in the Americas. While the black bean is a native to the Americas, it has become popular around the world. These beans have become especially popular in contemporary Punjabi cuisine, in Louisiana Cajun and Creole cuisine. Turtle bean has also become a staple. So what's a black bean? With the size of a pea, about ½ an inch long, with a slightly less pronounced boat shape common to kidney beans. They have a satiny black skin or white center. When cooked, the beans have a creamy texture with a strong, slightly sweet flavor. Okay. Your menu for Thursday. We are making rice pilaf. We're making risotto, and you're going to cook your black beans however your little heart desires. Okay, that's your free game to cook whatever you want. Okay, with it, as long as it's cooked and you present it. You can make soup, you can make radish, you can make a salsa. So black beans is your choice. Okay. So rice pilaf, there's a technique. You need mirepoix, brunoise mirepoix. Okay, you're going to saute the mirepoix in butter. Add your rice, lightly toasted. Okay, 1 cup of rice, 1½ cup of hot chicken stock. Okay, Now's the time to take the chicken stock out of the freezer. If you have it, you don't have any left over from last week, or it's not in the refrigerator. So 1 cup of rice, we're gonna have a cup of hot chicken stock. For those of you guys, Frank, Gabriel, Quincy, and Mr. Michael, I'm gonna have the chicken stock totally hot before you guys walk into the kitchen. Okay, hot, not boiling hot because it's gonna evaporate. Okay, so saute your meal pan butter, brunoise. Add your rice, lightly toasted. Add your chicken stock, salt, taste it. Adjust the seasonings before it gets fully cooked. If it tastes right, turn on the heat, cover the pot, stick it in the oven, 15, 20 minutes, the rice is done. That's rice pilaf, okay? Risotto. You have, what is it, onions, garlic, or shallots in the mix with mushrooms. You're gonna saute those onions and garlic until translucent. Add your mushrooms. No, sorry, don't add your mushrooms. Onions and garlic first. Add your arborio rice. Okay, you're going to lightly toast this arborio rice. Okay, toast it, and then you're gonna hit it with a equal amount of stock into the rice until it covers rice. Lower the heat to low to medium. Okay, and keep that hot liquid on the side. You're gonna gently stir it once or twice and let it sit. Then you're gonna, once the water is totally consumed by the rice, you're gonna add another batch of water, just enough to cover the rice. Gently stir it, keeping the heat on low heat. Okay. Let that rice absorb the water. When that water is, the moisture is gone, taste that rice. How crunchy it is. If it's still too crunchy, add same amount of liquid to the rice. If it's kind of like crunchy but a little soft, reduce that amount of stock or liquid and pour it into the rice. Stir it once again, let it go. Do not sit there and stir it. You're gonna break the rice kernels, okay? It's not gonna burn, not gonna burn. Go back and taste it again, see how crunchy it is. If it's almost on point, don't stir it, let it, okay? Okay. And then while that's going, saute your mushrooms on the side. So when your risotto is al dente to the teeth, go ahead and fold your mushrooms into your risotto, okay? What we're looking for the risotto is the sucre, S-U-C-R-E. In French to English, that's translated to sugar. Sucre is sugar in English from French. What you're looking for is the caramelization of the natural sugar in the rice to come out. You're gonna look for that golden brown color on the bottom of the pot. Not burn, not scorched. Golden brown color of the rice in the pot, that is the sucre, okay? Risotto is all about that sucre, that golden brown color on the bottom of the pot. When it's done, take it out and then gently fold in your mushrooms and your Parmesan cheese. Boom, risotto is done, okay? You gotta baby it. You just cannot walk away from it. You gotta be close to it because you gotta watch that chicken stock, okay? You gotta watch it, okay? And then the last one is black beans. You can do whatever you want with those. It's a real, he does the same thing as your dog. He does the exact same thing. Same thing. Yep.
The paw thing,
Yep.
it's really annoying.
He does exactly the same thing.
She's laying here like a big baby too, which is the worst. It's not helping.
He does the same thing. So yeah, he's like the same way. He's actually waiting for me to go see.
Try
So
having real
spoiled.
kids.
So that's your menu for Thursday, right? You're gonna present rice pilaf, risotto, and your black beans. Any questions about that? Let's take a look at the risotto technique so you guys can know what I'm talking about, right? Risotto.
True risotto. That's right, I'm showing you an alternative version.
We're not making
of a
it.
Recipe I've never even shown you the regular version for. Yes, that is a little strange, but I will explain that on the blog post. The good news, however, is that once you try this method, it is so easy and the rice comes out so perfect, you may not even care anymore about the classical method. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by cutting up a few cups of mushrooms. I'm gonna dice mine. You can cut these any way you want. And I'm using the brown cremini mushrooms. These white button mushrooms will work exactly the same. They're the same mushroom basically. One's grown in the light, one's grown in the dark. Once those are cut, we're gonna throw them in a large skillet that's placed over medium-high heat with a bunch of melted butter in there, and we're gonna saute those until brown. And I should mention at this point, for this to work exactly as shown, you're gonna need a 12 or 13-inch saute pan. That's a very standard size. It needs to be oven-proof, of course. And you know the deal with mushrooms, we're gonna add a pinch of salt, and then as we like to say, first we make them wet, then we make them dry, then we make them wet again. So we're gonna use that same method here. The salt's gonna drown the liquid. They're gonna kind of boil in their own juices. But then when that evaporates, they're gonna start frying in that butter. The only thing that evaporates out of a sauteing pan of food is water vapor. Fat does not evaporate. So whatever butter or oil you start with is gonna remain in the pan. I'm also gonna season that up a little bit with some black pepper and a little shaved cayenne. And we're gonna keep sauteing those until they're nicely brown, something like that. Which at that point, we're gonna add a half an onion that I finely diced. You can turn the heat down to medium at that point, and we're just gonna sweat those onions with those mushrooms for another few minutes until the onions turn translucent and soften a little bit. And when that happens, we're gonna go ahead and dump in our rice. Speaking of which, here it is. I'm using carnaroli, which is a famous variety of rice for risotto. It's actually called the pita rices, and it's very similar to arborio, which is the most popular rice for risotto, which should work for this, by the way, although I've never tested it because I only use carnaroli for my risotto. And you should be able to find that at the same fancy stores that sell the arborio rice. And if not, you can certainly find it online quite easily. But anyway, that's something else you can read a little more about on Food Wishes. So we're gonna take a cup of that, we're gonna dump it in our saute pan. All right, we're still on medium heat. And we're gonna stir that for about a minute until every single grain of rice is coated with some of that fat. We're also gonna wanna stir some salt in at this point. And when you're positive every single grain is coated, we can start adding our liquids. So I'm gonna pour in 1 cup of chicken broth, which can cause your eyeballs to steam up. So be careful, all right? You plant munchers can definitely use vegetable stock if you want. Totally will work. We're gonna raise the heat up to medium high, and we're simply gonna cook stirring until that liquid is absorbed. So basically the beginning and the ending of this recipe are the same as traditional risotto. But what's so different is the middle 15 minutes. We're gonna do that in the oven in an attempt to eliminate as many variables as possible. So keep stirring, keep cooking, and when all the liquid has been absorbed and you can't see any at the bottom of the pan, we're gonna go ahead and dump in a second cup of broth. And with the second cup of stock, all we're gonna do is wait for it to come back to a simmer, and we're gonna pop it in the oven. By the way, at this point, make sure your oven is already preheated to 400.
So we're not doing all that stirring, guys. You gotta let the risotto absorb all that moisture, okay? Otherwise, you're not gonna get the sucre in the bottom. We're looking for that sucre, okay?
100 degrees. Very important, make sure it's hot before you start this. So we're gonna go ahead and stir that cup in. By the way, make sure there's no grain stuck to the sides, otherwise those won't cook. And as soon as you see that bubbling, as soon as it just starts to simmer, you're gonna pop it in the oven for exact.
So we're not gonna pop it in the oven, we're gonna let it go on the stove top until all the liquid has been absorbed. And then you go and stir it and take a look at that sucre, how it is in the bottom, okay? That is your risotto for tomorrow, for Thursday. Any thoughts about Thursday's menu? Rice pilaf is on the practical. Let me emphasize that. Rice pilaf is on the practical, right? All right, Thursday, let's jump into Friday. Friday. Okay. Cooking techniques. Okay, cooking techniques. We're not going to go into depth. Okay. The different cooking techniques. You got the basic methods of French cooking: flambeing, sauteing, poaching, broiling, braising, and baking. Okay. Searing, shallow frying, roasting, grilling. Okay. Barbecuing. Poaching is a type of moist heat cooking technique that involves cooking and submerging food in a liquid such as water, milk, stock, or wine. Poaching is different from the other moist heat cookings such as simmering and boiling that uses a relatively low temperature, about 160 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperature ranges in particular are suitable for delicate foods such as eggs, poultry, fish, and fruit, which might easily fall apart or dry out using the other cooking methods. Poaching is something considered as a healthy method of cooking because it does not use fat to cook or flavor the food. Roasting, direct heat is applied to the food. The heat seals the outside part of the food and the juice inside the food cooks of the food. Roasting is mainly used for cooking fleshy foods like fish, meat, or chicken. When heat is applied to the outer coverings of the food, it seals it up, thereby trapping all the juices inside the food. The action of the direct heating helps the juices inside the food, which then cooks the food. Again, there's a very nutrient loss in all the flavor of the spoiled. Food is frequently roasted over a spit, so there is even heating applied to all parts of the food, so that the heat is applied to the cooking of the food to make it cook properly. Okay, you got sauteing. Okay, the word saute is pronounced saute. It refers to the form of dry heat cooking. They use a hot pan and a small amount of fat to cook the food very quickly, like dry heat cooking methods. Sauteing is browns the food surface and as it cooks, there will come to flavors and aromas. While sauteing is important to get the pan very hot, then add the fat, butter, oil, and get it as hot as well before adding the hot pan. The hot fan helps to coat the food so fast, the circles will brown evenly. Another key is to avoid overloading or overcrowding the pan, not to achieve the same browning food, because if you overcrowd the pan, it's going to be poached, not sauteed. Okay. Too much food in the pan dissipates the heat, causing the food to steam or boil rather than saute. Finally, when you saute, you want to keep the food moving. The word saute technically means jump in French. Tossing or flipping the food in the pan ensures that it cooks evenly, but also helps the pan hot. The reason for it's important is for the food moving around, so that is when the hot thing meets the cooler thing, the temperatures eventually meet in the middle. All the cooler things roast warmer while the hot cool things down. Okay. So saute, you guys did that on the potatoes, remember? Your home fries? Okay. That's sauteing, okay? So I'm gonna skip all this, okay? Pan frying with sauteing. Pan frying is a lot like sauteing, but a few key differences. Besides the fact there is no tossing, pan frying uses slightly more fat and slightly lower temperatures than sauteing. This makes it a good method for cooking larger pieces of meat that will not have time to cook through, because the sauteing, the food isn't in the pan there for very long. Food, for that reason, large pieces of meat are often finished when the oven after the surface has been cooked to the desired degree. Whole layer cooking in fat. Pot roasting or butter braising, this cookery method is a cross between roasting and braising. It does not use any moisture. The item whole barrel joint is similar with butter and placed in the pot with a lid on. This sediment forms is used for the juice. A method of cooking using the covered pot where the food is cooked at their own juices also refers to us to butter roasting. Okay, frying. You guys did some frying on the French fries. Okay, remember frying, totally submerged. Okay, and it's got to be a 350 degree oven. Shallow frying. Food is cooked in a frying pan with a little amount of oil or fat. The oil or fat is heated to the correct amount of food. It's put in the heated oil. The food is turned over a few minutes and is stirred around a couple of times before it is cooked and dished out. If patties, potato chips, or quarter foods are fried, it is best to put a piece of brown paper or paper napkin inside the tray to soak up any oil from the food being served. Deep frying is when you have a lot of oil or fat is used cooking food. Okay, and it's like we did the French fries. Okay, you're gonna be doing some of that too when we go to bourbon glazed chicken. Okay, grilling. Two methods of grilling that are used in these days. One type of grilling is the one that is commonly used by people in the village. This is when food is cooked over hot charcoal of an open fire. The food is placed on top of the burning charcoal. Sometimes people improvise by using the wire mesh and place it over the open fire to grill fish or veggies. The other method of using grills is to our inbuilt stoves. This method is a griller which has a tray, it's heated up, and the food is placed on the grill to wait on the grill tray to cook. It can be gas generated or electric generated, depending on the type of stove used. Food is again left on the cook, on the grill for the doors, the grill to be open. Food can also, people can afford to buy a stove, let's use the grilling part of the grill, their food. What happens this type of cooking is the heat seals the outside part of the food, and the juice inside the food cooks it. The flavor of the food is not lost, and much of the nutrients are not lost either. Food is frequently turned over to prevent from burning and to ensure the equal heating and cooking time is applied to both sides of the food. By doing this, the food is cooked evenly and thoroughly. Okay, braising. We're going to be doing that with coq au vin. The French word braisier combination cooking method that uses both moist and dry heats Typically, for the food is first seared on the high temperature, then it's finished in the covered pot at a lower temperature while sitting in the some variable amount of liquid, which may also have flavor. Braising the meat is often referred to as pot roasting. Thus, amateurs like to distinguish between the two methods based on the whether the additional liquid is added. Okay. Other cooking methods, dry heat cooking methods, the food being cooked does not use water to cook the food. The food is left on the dry heat and applied to cook the food. Such methods of cooking are baking, steaming, grilling, and roasting. When heat is applied to the food cooks in its own juice, and the water added to the food is during preparation evaporates. During the heating process, this cooks the food. Heat is applied directly to the food, the way it's convection foods, thus making the food get cooked. The action of the movement around the air of the food cooks it. Let's just have each of these cooking methods. Okay, almost like your air fryer ish. Okay, baking. Okay, baking. It's in the oven. Okay, steaming. Steaming the food in water is added to the pot and stand on the face inside the pot. So steaming is when you have a large container, not filled with water, add another one on top with holes and covered. That steams the food. Okay. Boiling, okay, we know boiling. Stewing. Stewing, the process of cooking using the stewing methods. Food is cooked is using a hot liquid in different kinds of vegetables or chopped. Diced or cubed and added to the pot. Sometimes pieces of selected meat, fish or chicken are also chopped and added to the stew. The liquid is slightly thickened and stewed food is served in that manner. Okay. Methods also used when preparing foods are going to be served as desserts, which is a cooking method. Ooh, like poached pears, delicious. Okay. Barbecuing, indirect heat. Okay. When you put it in the smoker. Method of cooking food by barbecue is usually associated with fundraising activities, parties, and picnics. It is more suitable for cooking meat cutlets, fish or chicken pieces. The food is usually marinated with the spices with tenderized meat to cuts. For some, before it is cooked, with this method of cooking, a sheet of metal withstands is heated up, and the oil is used for cook the food. Sufficient amount of oil is heated up, and the food is added. Okay, but again, we use wood chips to smoke it. Basting is like when you do your Thanksgiving turkey. Put it in the oven, grab some of the juice, put it on top. Keep on dressing that turkey with the same juice. That's basting. Chicken. We're going to go on chicken now. Okay, we're done with starches, we're done with potatoes like that. Now we're looking at chicken. Chicken fabrication and identification. Okay. Whole chicken, wok. Okay. Whole bird with that giblets and all parts, including the breast, thighs, drumsticks, wings, and back in the abdominal fat. That's what we have to work with. That's what you guys picked up on campus today. Quarter wok, a 4-piece, 2 breast quarters, half breast with back and wing attached, 2 leg quarters, drumstick, thigh, and back, all attached. The tail and abdominal fat may or not be present. 8-piece, 2 split breasts with back rib bones, 2 drumsticks, 2 thighs with black back portions, and 2 wings. Tenderloin. Tenderloin is a whole muscle product and pull, but separate the inner pectoral muscle from the breast and then sternum. So we are going to fabricate our chicken on Friday, leaving the chicken tenderloin attached to the breast. Okay. Thigh is the product by cutting the whole leg and the joint between the tibia and the femur, the drumstick and the patella removed. The thigh consists of the thigh and associated fat, meat adjacent to the ilium, oyster meat. We are going to remove that oyster meat from the chicken. I'll show you where it is. And of course, we know all about the drumstick. Okay. So we got whole cuts, the whole wing section, breast fillet, tenders, and legs. Okay. Asparagus. You're going to blanch asparagus on Friday. To prepare the asparagus, bend the base and snap the woody bottoms. Now we're going to grab the asparagus, tap them on the spear side down, put them down, and then cut them on the inside of the rubber band about 4 inches from the tip inside and give her the bottom part. Okay. Bring a large pan of salted water to boil. Carefully lower the asparagus to the boiling water. Leave to cook for 2 to 4 minutes, depending on the thickness of the stems. Using tongs, remove the asparagus and plunge them into ice water for at least 5 minutes. That is called blanching asparagus, shocking them in water. This will stop the cooking process and preserve the color. So when you have the boiling water, add a teaspoon of salt to the boiling water. This has a reverse osmosis and it keeps the asparagus from losing its color and will retain the nice bright green color. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't add salt, that asparagus is going to turn olive green like swamp water. Okay. So anyways, shock them in ice water and stop from continuous cooking, drain it, and you're going to saute them with a little bit of butter. Okay. Satay. Okay. Your menu on Friday. Here we go. Your menu Friday. You are going to fabricate a chicken. You are going to French cut a chicken breast. I will show you how to French cut. I will give you a demo. Okay. It is on the practical. French cut is like you see here, the whole breast, no bones, just the wing, all the skin attached, and you turn it upside down. The chicken tenderloin is attached to the breast. Okay. You're gonna saute the chicken breast, skin side down on the pan with butter, sear it until it's golden brown, turn it right side up, pop that chicken in the oven, 350 for about 7-10 minutes maximum, 7-10 minutes maximum, until the internal temperature on the thickest part reach 165. Okay, that is sauteed French cut breast of chicken. It's on the practical. Okay, it's on the practical. And I will show you how to French cut it really easy, guys, really easy. Okay, because it's on the practical. Blanched asparagus and rice pilaf. There you go. On this day, I will start first with the rice pilaf. Get it going, get it out of the way. Second, fabricate that chicken. Saute it, set it aside. Okay. Blanch your asparagus, set them aside. Reheat your velouté sauce from last week. Set it aside, hot. When the rice is coming out, then pop your chicken in the oven. 7-10 minutes. As you got 3 minutes before the chicken comes out, go ahead and heat up your pan with butter and start sauteing your asparagus. Get it nice and blistered. Chicken comes out, velouté is hot, rice is hot, start plating up. Okay. This is where it begins, guys. This is where it begins. We're done with knife cuts. We're no longer going to knife cuts. We're no longer going to velouté. This is your first dish to create, to put together. Okay. And what are we looking for when we present on the dish? What kind of style?
Modern, with like height.
Bougie. Bougie. Bougie.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember the picture I showed you with Drake? With the rice, the chicken, or the salmon and asparagus, rice in the middle, asparagus on top, and chicken on top. Or rice in the middle, asparagus resting against the rice with some height, and the chicken resting against the asparagus. Holding the asparagus in the rice in the chicken. Why is that important? Because from the window to the dining room table, you put everything separate, it'll drop 10 to 15 degrees in temperature. What happens when it's the middle of winter time up in Alaska and you're out with your buddies, your homies, your homegirls, right? You're gonna huddle together, try to retain that heat, the body heat, right? Same thing on the plate. The plate's hot, rice, asparagus, chicken, all together nice and tight. So that dish remains hotter for longer periods, it doesn't get cold. And do not, I repeat this, do not sauce that chicken on top with the velouté. That sauce is on the side, okay? Do not go put in the velouté on top of the chicken. Do not do that. Or rice or asparagus, okay? That velouté is gonna be on the side. It's a complement, not to cover the nice, beautiful golden brown skin that you took your time on fabricating the chicken, okay? And again, I will show you a demo how to plate that chicken on Friday, okay, guys? But again, we're looking for bougie, center with height, tight, sauce on the side, on the plate, okay? Take a spoon, little drop, and then run your spoon on the side, okay? That's what we're looking for on Friday.
The rice pilaf we're saving from Thursday to plate it Friday?
Oh,
Or we're making another one?
make another one. This is on the practical.
Oh, okay.
And again, what kind of cuts go in the rice pilaf?
Brunoise.
Small.
Brunoise, that's correct.
Wall.
You don't know Brunoise? Go back to a week and a half ago and go and do your research. Because at this point, that train has long left the station, right? That train has
Yeah, I'm gonna have to print that out and study it because I can't, by name, I know how to do them, but I just don't know them by name.
So that is your menu on Friday and for the week. Any thoughts about your production for this week?
I feel like I'm gonna be really tired at the end of the week. A lot of cooking this week.
Yeah, it's not that hard, guys. It's real easy.
Facts.
But it's going to pick up the pace. It's going to pick up the pace. And the best way to be ready is to have your production sheets ready. Right? Right?
Yeah, I'm getting fancy with mine.
To the left. Right? Miss Cindy does a great job on the production sheet. So does Sis Antonia. And Anna, too, you got to do great in your production sheet. Right? That's the best way to attack this week's menu, okay? Now, here are my production sheets for this week, okay? If you're interested, I don't mind you taking the picture and then transferring that information to your own production sheets. It's not a crime. It's not against your grade, okay?
You do not have to tell me twice. You said what?
So we're doing, what's tomorrow? Potatoes, right? We go back. That's not the right. Right here, potato cookery, okay? That is my production sheet for the potato. That's for tomorrow. Vichyssoise, potato puree, duchesse, and potato salad. Okay, and again, it's not a crime to take a picture and then transfer all this info in your production sheet. That's the more production sheet, okay? So vichyssoise, potato, duchesse, and potato salad, okay? This is for Wednesday, okay? Pasta day. Crispy, soft polenta, and I added the recipe for carbonara at the bottom. It depends how fast you guys are on Wednesday. We may do this recipe on that day. If not, I will give you a demo, okay? Carbonara, okay? That is for Wednesday. Thursday, that is my production sheet for Thursday, okay? Looking at rice pilaf, risotto, and black beans. I put them in baked soup, but I can do whatever I want with that beans, okay? So that's what I have for Thursday, okay? That is my production Thursday. Here's Fridays. That is my production sheet for Friday. That's where the fun begins, okay? So I got first things first, rice pilaf, get it out of the way. Second, fabricate the chicken, okay? Heat up my velouté and blanch asparagus, just like I was telling you guys. And I'm telling you guys this for a reason, okay? I'm telling you guys this for a reason, because on the practical, you have rice pilaf, mashed potatoes, 2 French cutlets of chickens, 2 green beans, velouté, and 2 salads. You got that many recipes to produce, 5 times 2, okay? Actually about 6, 7 recipes. Your time is limited on the practical. So get used to the idea of multitasking and know what to do first, second, third, and fourth. Because in the practical, it's a time cooking practical, okay? It's a time cooking practical. So get used to what to do first. Like this one, I can do it again. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna start the rice pilaf first. I'm gonna fabricate the chicken, okay? I'm gonna heat up my velouté, blanch my asparagus, sear my chicken, pop it in the oven, saute my asparagus, rice is coming out, chicken is coming out, asparagus are hot, velouté is hot, boom, done deal, okay? In that sequence. Because I will guarantee you, you will ask me before the practical, what will be the time sequence to do all those items, okay? And I'm gonna run them again, what to do first, second, third, fourth, and what to do last. But you should begin from that mode of what to do first, second, third, fourth, and last, so you know exactly how to manage your time. The practical is a time practical, guys. That is my production sheet for this week. Any questions? Again, it's not a crime to take a picture and then transfer all that info to your production sheet. So there should be no excuse you're not having your production sheet, right? Should I say names? Any thoughts, any questions, any comments, any concerns, any issues about what's coming up?
This is gonna be a little outside the box. Sorry, but blanch asparagus, you want us to do it the style with water and all that?
For the asparagus, you're gonna bring the water to boiling and drop a teaspoon of salt. And then you're gonna put the asparagus in the boiling water for about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the size, take them out, chuck them in nice water. And then you're gonna pat them dry, saute them in butter, give them more flavor.
Okay, so they're gonna be blanched and then sauteed asparagus.
Correct.
Heard.
We cannot saute
So
it,
we saute it with whatever we want, like if we want to do garlic or whatever.
butter and salt.
Oh, okay.
Only butter and salt. Remember, this is foundation. This is not regional, where you can add all kinds of ingredients. We want the flavors to come out of you, the natural flavors of the ingredients. Because you got rice pilaf that is very neutral in flavor. You velouté, you know how it tastes, very neutral. Asparagus only salt, and the chicken only salt. So you got all those flavors coming to you together. If you're gonna decide to put garlic or some other ingredients to the other items, then that item is gonna be up here and everything else is gonna be down here. Everything needs to be on an equal level in flavor profiles, okay? And then you will truly see how those flavors come together on that dish, okay? That's the goal. So no paprika, no cayenne pepper, no pepper,
Let me tell you, I've never cooked chicken with just salt and pepper.
no adobo,
Never.
no goya.
Exactly. No adobo, no sazon. Like that is like,
Nope.
I don't know what this chicken is gonna taste like.
Where's the flavor?
You will see. You need to taste the natural flavors of the dishes, the dish, all the items come together.
With salt and pepper, there's not much. There's no wondering. There's just plain. It just sounds so plain.
It sounds so flavor.
It does.
Doesn't it?
If my mom were to see me,
I hope
cooking,
the rice
where-
pilaf has some flavor because
where's the oyster sauce? Where is the browning? Where is something? My mom will be so disappointed in this thing right now.
But remember, this is a French dish. French do not use sriracha, no jalapeno, no cilantro. The food is flavorful, but it doesn't have all those ingredients. No cilantro, no tortillas, no cholula, no Tabasco.
I knew I was in trouble when you said French school when I saw it.
Yeah, because I was like, I hope there's some Jamaican they could let me in with a little bit of seasoning because
No.
I like pepper.
You know why? Because a lot of students in this foundations class do not use how to use spices properly. This is where you start to take baby steps, how to
Okay.
walk, and then later you can start adding more items because a lot of students add pepper, taste it, doesn't taste of it. Add more pepper, taste it, no, people add pepper, and you know what happens when you add pepper? It slowly blooms. So the more you add, it becomes spicier, and that overpowers the flavors of the product you're trying to emphasize. So yeah, keep that aside for now. This is foundations, okay? Regional cuisine is a different story. You're going to be using all kinds of spices back there, okay? Even Keone, last block, he was the same way as you guys. He's like, man, I want some flavors on this. Get up and like, nope, just keep it the way it is. He tasted it and blew his mind of how everything was so flavorful coming together on the palate. Everything was well-rounded.
It just sounds like it's a bunch. It's gonna be salty. That's what it sounds like. Everything is salt, salt, salt. It just sounds like it's gonna be a big plate of.
It sounds like, again, you're tasting the rice pilaf. You're tasting the rice, the near paw, and the chicken stock in the rice pilaf. The salt is only added to enhance the flavors. You're tasting the velouté part of it. You're tasting the asparagus. You're tasting that chicken, the chicken skin, where the skin has a lot of fat, a lot of flavor on it. So everything combined on the palate, you'll see it's going to come real well balanced. If you're used to like eating a whole bunch of spicy foods, it might change your outlook. It might not change your outlook. I cannot guarantee it, but you need to try those ingredients first, and then you can add whatever you want out of it. Once you taste it, then you can add sriracha, you can add whatever spice you want to add, say jalapenos, Tabasco, right?
Are we doing a French style chicken when we're cooking it, saute style, like butter and baste it and all that?
We're gonna use probably oil. No, we're gonna use butter. We're not gonna baste it. We're not gonna baste
We're
it.
not gonna baste it though. We're just gonna cook it in the butter.
Saute it on the skin side down, golden brown, flip it on the other side, pop it in the oven. That's
Okay.
it. Plain and simple. Okay, plain and simple. So you guys got it for this week?
Now, can we use that butter that we use on the chicken for my asparagus?
You can, but remember that saute pan is coming out of the oven.
Oh, okay. I got you. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, that's coming out of the oven. You grab that handle. Right? You got blisters now. Okay. You can't use that pan for the chicken to use your asparagus, but you gotta be careful because that handle just come out of the oven. Be careful with it. Okay. Any questions? Any thoughts? Comments, concerns, issues?
None now, but I'm gonna ask you a lot later, probably.
That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and load up all those slides in the portal. Load up this video too. And again, during this week, I'm not gonna let you guys just go free solo on your own. I'm gonna show you guys how to do certain things, demos, all the way to the end. The only time I'm gonna wean myself out of plating techniques is after this, after the next week. Then I'm gonna say, okay, guys, you're on your own now plating. We've done enough for you guys, so you guys can get the gist of it, what I'm looking for as far as plating up. Now it's your turn to show me what you learned and what you got. Okay. Questions? All right. Be ready for tomorrow. Production sheets, production sheets, production sheets, production sheets.
Are you gonna go over like the shopping list, or should we just get everything on that list? There's nothing to be subtracted, nothing to be added, nothing.
Good question. The shopping list. Here we go. Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay. Oh, son of a biscuit, keep me on again. I didn't lose Wi-Fi, but it just kicked me out. Really, dude, really?
The rice pilaf, well, on Friday, you want everything plated with the brown cookie sheets, right?
What do you mean?
No, bougie.
It's bougie. Bougie. Well, we're not doing prison food, right? We're not doing slop, right? We're not doing cafeteria food, right?
So you want them plated like nicely in a round circle.
Yep.
Make that $3 chicken worth $25.
Exactly. Bingo. Now you get the idea. Okay. All right. Here's your shopping list for this week. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So you need chicken stock, what you got. You need 2 whole chickens because I'm probably going to fabricate them for the following week. And I'm going to tell you what cuts of chicken you need and what to save for the following week. You know, you need butter for your rice pilaf. You need butter for your risotto. You need butter for your vichyssoise. You need heavy cream for your mashed potatoes and your vichyssoise. You need eggs for the duchesse. You need Parmesan cheese for your risotto, right? You need leeks for the potato leek soup. You need roasted potatoes, chives for garnish. New potatoes, you can buy those. You can just go straight Idaho. Okay. Celery for your potato salad, also for your vichyssoise and your rice pilaf. Green onions for garnish on your potatoes. Okay. Red radish garnish for your potato salad. Parsley garnish for your potato salad. What else for? That's it, I think.
Sir, for the celery for the potato salad, I just want to double check. Is that a Brunoise cut, or we'll learn that later?
For your rice pilaf, Brunoise. For your potato salad, small dice.
Small dice, heard. Thank you.
You got onions for your soup, rice pilaf and risotto. You got garlic for your risotto. You got mushrooms for your risotto. Basil leaves for your tomato sauce. Oregano, tomato sauce. Okay. carrots for your vichyssoise and your rice pilaf. Asparagus for Friday. Nutmeg you can do without. I don't care about nutmeg. So you don't have to use nutmeg, right? That's for the duchess. Salt, olive oil. Okay. Olive oil for what is it for? Hold on. I'm trying to think. Don't really need olive oil for anything because we're not making it in the bread. If you have it,
For everything.
don't worry about it. AP flour. Okay. I would do bread flour for your pasta. I wouldn't do AP flour. Or semolina, okay, for your you increase semolina amount for your pasta dough.
So we need what kind of flour? Because I got like all-purpose flour from the school, so we need to purchase a different one for the pasta.
It'll do okay. I'm not very fond of it because bread flour has more protein, but you can use AP flour for your pasta.
I
Semolina,
only have all-purpose, but I could get some in.
semolina. You got for you got white wine. You guys came and picked your product on campus. There was no white wine because TABC laws that allows to give you guys alcohol to take home. Cornmeal, you got cornmeal, polenta, black beans, long grain rice, and arborio rice. That is your shopping list. Okay. So remember, tomorrow's potatoes. You got potatoes, cream, butter, mirepoix, right? Eggs and Parmesan cheese. Wednesday, you got pasta, flour and eggs, polenta, mushrooms, asparagus, onions, garlic. You got the crispy polenta. You're gonna use some of the basil for the sauce too. Thursday, you got risotto, arborio, butter, onions, garlic, chicken stock. You got rice pilaf, onion, celery, carrots, rice, chicken stock, salt. Friday, you got asparagus, chicken, but look at what you have from last week. So I think it's all there. And there's nothing missing on this one, okay? Just the whatchamacallit, the nutmeg, I'm not really fond of it, so have it, don't get it, don't want it, okay? And if you cannot find parsley, Miss Antonia, don't worry about parsley, it's only for garnish, you don't have to have it. Okay. So that's your shopping list for this week. And do go ahead and cross-reference with the recipes, and you'll see all these items in there, okay? Any thoughts? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Issues? Y'all ready to rock and roll? You excited?
I'm down for it. I'm waiting for this week. It's gonna be a fun one.
For the practical, if I buy a ticket and come to Texas to partake in the practical in the school, is that possible?
You gotta run it by Chef Robin first to make sure that you're okay to come on campus.
Say less, because that's doable. I got a ticket. I
So-
didn't use, and that's a free flight, so I don't mind.
Let's get running by her if you're gonna come in on campus and do the practical on campus, because everything will be here.
Oh, will do. I'll ask her in my message about the other thing.
Yeah, sure.
So this Friday is a practical pretest.
Practice, pretty much. Yeah, practical pre-test practice. You can take a look at it like that, okay?
I'm gonna be handing out a lot of food this week. Because I don't eat half the stuff they're making.
My food giveaway week is during the pork, during the beef, and that's it.
That's coming out.
The lamb will be given away too, because I don't eat lamb either.
Yeah, that too. Anything?
Oh, Mary had a little lamb, delicious.
No.
That's week 5. Week 5.
Yeah, week 5 or whatever else. I will be those are the things I'm giving away. I don't eat those things.
And then week 6, it's all about seafood.
That week. I'm about to
Yeah,
double
that
up.
week I'm excited about.
Double up.
The black drum, the flounder, and the shrimp. Boiled shrimp, cocktail.
I was reading
You said
a
black
book and it's the
shrimp?
lionfish.
The whitefish.
The lionfish.
Uh-huh.
Do people are they cooking it?
No, not yet. We're not cooking on this campus.
I saw we're doing like filleting a flatfish. I think it was. I saw something like that. A flatfish and a regular.
So it's a flatfish, it's a round fish. Round fish is your black bronzino, bass. Flatfish is your flounder, halibut, sole.
So what fish are we gonna fillet in our class again?
Black drum and flounder.
Black trump and flounder.
Drum and flounder. 2 fish on Monday.
That sounds really bougie.
It will be. You'll see. It will be.
Black drum is so tasty.
It is. Ceviche, sauteed, grilled, fancy or baked.
Oh, talk to me about a ceviche, okay? You're
Yep.
talking my language.
So that's on week 6, and then of course we jump into the practical right off the bat. But week 6, I might. It depends how we go about it. I'm going to probably share with you guys my scampi recipe on the shrimp instead of doing the rosemary grill. That's kind of we do something else different. So that's what we got. Any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, issues?
Nope. I'm
Production,
all set. I need to get on these sheets so I could get them out the way.
production sheets. Man,
For the crispy polenta, are we allowed to get creative with that, or you want us to do a certain kind?
presentation, you can be creative with it. As far as the recipe, you got to keep it as is because it's not going to firm up.
Okay, and then when it firms up, we can cut it whatever way we want to do it.
Right.
Doesn't have to be a round shape, does it? I could cut it into a
Square,
little
triangle.
shape.
Give me a plank, you know. All right, guys. Nothing else. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Be ready.